All right, everyone, we are live. My name is Nathan Hale, and welcome to Hale. Thank you so much for joining us for the 24-hour movie marathon after party, where we discuss all the movies that we watched and rank all the movies that we watched. I see we have a few people already, and I see we already have a dislike, so I am so grateful to that viewer. I guess that person is a big, advocate for sleep, so that's why they disliked it. Anyways, I have two guests here with me tonight. You already know them. You love them. We've got Nick Talks Flicks. How's it going?
I'm good. It's a party. Thank
It's
you
a
for
party.
the dislike. Thank you. You're helping the algorithm. You don't know this, but you're actually helping. So
Yes, we know we need sleep, okay? We do it anyways. And my very good friend, Jimmy Crackcorn, and I don't care.
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Do any of you? Oh, Nick, you haven't seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but does anyone remember the scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure when him and the hobo are singing Jimmy Crackcorn and I Don't Care on the train? Don't remember that?
I love that scene. That scene's amazing.
Oh, you love that scene?
I love that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah. 11 out of 10 right there. Not even joking. Oh, we just lost 2 viewers. It's probably because I brought up Pee Wee Herman. So let's go ahead and talk about our 24-hour movie marathon. First off, we have a comment from Psycho Bateman. I'm guessing that's a shout out to me because of how much I loved American Psycho. But Nevs Sesser? Who did the two ESR? Am I an idiot for not knowing what that means?
I don't know what that is either.
I have no clue. What does that mean?
It looks like they just were like, and they just like type something. I don't know.
It's like code, apparently.
They're like,
Yeah.
I want to be the first comment.
Yeah. It's like 5:30, like a half hour before it starts. All right. Gavin, welcome. We got a sick comment from Gavin. The boy's always coming in clutch to make a stressful week a lot better. Thanks, Gavin. So glad we can help your week out. And I am convinced that the person who disliked it is like an anti-insomniac or something. Jacob, what's going on, man? Glad you're here. You must be so popular if someone disliked the video before it started. That's a great way of looking at it.
Gold, yeah.
No,
I don't even get that.
I've never gotten that either.
YouTuber milestones. Yes, the dislike before the stream started. I'm making it, guys.
That's the first peak to break.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I passed the first level. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us tonight. As you know, hopefully you watched our videos, mine and Nick's videos, and Jackson will be revealing what he watched tonight as well. We're happy to have you guys here. We are doing it a little bit different this year, where instead of ranking the videos in the movies we watch in the video, we rank it in this live stream. And so we gave you our reviews of the movies, but Jackson did it. But now we're going to rank all the movies that we watched, and Jackson will be revealing what movies he watched. Really quick. This is a good comment. I do have to say I don't understand the concept of watching movies in a marathon. How can you appreciate them when you are tired and not paying attention? What next? To sprint through the... That's funny. No, so, okay. My response to this comment is I think you're definitely right to a certain extent. Like, I'm not about to watch 4 Andrew Tarkovsky films in a row, because I know that if I were to watch those movies in a marathon, I really wouldn't get the full appreciation. When Nick Jackson and I are choosing these movies, we're purposely choosing movies that we know we'd be able to stay alert in while we watch them during the marathon, and we know that we can get an enjoyment out of them. Like another example, sorry, real quick, Nick. Another example, last year for the foreign language film category, Nick and I purposely chose Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon because we knew that it would be something that kept us awake. I'm not about to watch Stalker in a marathon. Mm-hmm. And so I think I see what you're saying, but I can honestly say the movies that I've watched in both last year's marathon and this year's marathon, some of them have become some of my favorites. Like last year's marathon, In the Heat of the Night, one of my favorite movies of all time. And that was watched like the 6th movie of the day, I think. And so I see what you're saying, but I also want to throw that little rebuttal out there. But I appreciate the comment. And Nick, did you have something to say?
Yeah, sorry. My wife, I locked the door from the top, so I had to open it up for her. So I was going to say that in terms of when you said not paying attention, I disagree with you on that because part of the whole thing is to pay attention. And that's why we choose movies that we haven't seen before. Because if we did all movies that we've seen before that we already appreciate, then it would be kind of to the point where, it'd be kind of the point where we would just pick and choose which movies we wanted to sleep through. And that kind of defeats the entire purpose of what the marathon's supposed to be.
That's a good point.
So like that's why we choose movies that we haven't seen, so that way we can stay alert and stay focused. In terms of, you said Barry Lyndon ? I did that last year, and that was a mistake. I did it, and I didn't realize that it was going to be that bad, and I learned my mistake, and I didn't do it this year. So
we learn from our past, right?
Yeah. Well, some of us.
Yeah, we'll very soon talk about Jackson's marathon this year. But the fun thing is, like Nick said, we're going into these movies having not seen them, and so for the most part, we choose them based on, obviously an interest in wanting to see them. But we might watch a movie that was unexpectedly slower than we were anticipating, such as was the case with Barry Lyndon, and even the case with a movie or two with Jackson this year. But we'll let him defend himself in a little bit. Anyways, the whole point is, I love what Nick said, is the whole point of the marathon is we're trying to stay attention, and we're trying to discover new movies. If I like what you said, Nick, like if we were just rewatching movies, it would just be a snooze fest. We'd be falling asleep because we already know what happens. The whole point is to try to stay awake so we can see what happens and find new movies. And I personally love I love the feeling of checking off 10 movies that I've never seen before. Like, it's such a good feeling to be like, I saw 10 new movies that I've never seen before. This is great. So anyways, appreciate your comment, man. Jackson, did you have anything to say?
No, I think you guys put it perfectly.
Perfect. And then, Mike also says, that said, I mostly enjoy your movie chat. I appreciate
mostly. Well, what's that other little fraction about? You don't enjoy that?
There's a few things we've said he doesn't like.
I just wanted to, can I just say to Alex, that movie kid, he said that he's only watched Nathan's video. You got to watch mine. Go watch my video, Alex.
No, everybody go watch both of their videos. They're both.
Well, he also didn't finish his sentence. That's why, Alex, what were you going to say, man? Like, why do you only watch mine?
Yeah, we want to know why.
Yeah.
We need to know why.
Yeah. It's to dabble in auteur theory with a marathon. See similarities. Thank you, Blake.
Well put.
Yeah.
Barry Lyndon, yes. Good to Oh, yeah. Judgment at Nuremberg. That's one that I was scared about watching, but that's why in the video I said that I wanted to watch it in daylight, so it'd be easier for me to watch it. And I think, Mike, if you stick around for the ranking, I think you'll be happy to see where it ranks on the list. Oh, yeah. Nick, you were doing jumping jacks. I can definitely say that I was doing plenty of jumping jacks off camera.
To do? If I felt like I was getting tired, I had to do something to wake myself up. I didn't have to film that part. I just filmed it because I thought it was kind of funny.
No, yeah, I definitely was doing jumping jacks too. I just look stupid doing them. That's why I don't do them on camera. Sorry to Ben Mansell, who is awake at 2 a.m. right now. For me, it's 6 p.m. Yeah. So I know that doesn't help you at all, but thanks for tuning in, man. You catch the recording, right? Yes. Well, this will all be recorded and all on the channel, but thank you for popping in. Matt with the original comments. How's it going, man?
Now I want to keep this comment up the entire time because this has struck a chord with me.
This just tells everyone, everyone who joins the chat, they're like, I wonder if they're welcoming us, and they can see hi, and they'll know, oh, thank you, I'm welcomed. Yeah.
We don't want people turning away the live stream just because we didn't say hi. We didn't give salutations.
It's so true. It's so true. Yes. Okay. We're going to do a few more comments, and then we'll start with the ranking because I know we have about 25 people here, and you guys are dying to hear our rankings. Jacob, my big mistake was watching a slow-moving foreign film like Tokyo Story. Yes, that's a movie that I really want to see, but I agree. I don't think I'd watch it during a marathon.
So good. So depressing. It's make way for tomorrow, basically.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited to see it. Curious if you had more thoughts on Elephant Man. Nate, I know you gave a brief summary in the video, but was super stoked you put some Lynch in there. Yeah, dude. I will. Good. Yeah. I'll talk about my Elephant Man when we get to that ranking. I promise. And then Nathan, on a side note, besides Robert De Niro showing up 3 times in your marathon, John Hurt showed up twice. Oh, Lord of the Rings. And
Look at that.
Elephant Man. That's so true.
Who did he play in Lord of the Rings?
He's Aragorn, I think.
Well, that is horrible miscasting, but whatever.
I want to say he was Aragorn. I want to know what movies Jackson.
Yeah. You'll get that
too.
answer. You'll get that answer.
I
I don't understand this comment. What do you mean?
What did you
How that
say?
embarrass
What did you say?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Alex, don't take anything we say on these live streams seriously, man.
Yeah,
we
honestly-
appreciate the support. I don't even know what we said.
Honestly,
No,
like,
exactly. You should
you
only
can
take this personally, and that
Yeah.
is, I do not know your channel, but I hope that you make good content and that it's going well with you, man.
I don't.
Take this serious. This is the only serious comment we want here.
Yeah. And
That's the only one worth merit.
The thing is, to be honest, I am the type of person like I don't remember what I say, and I'm very sarcastic. That's just who I am in nature. You can ask Nate and Jackson. I'm super sarcastic. I will say things with a deadpan face just for the laughs because I think it's funny. Like that's how it is. That's who I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's just kidding. He got us.
No, he got me, man. Hey, I was got. We were all got.
We were got.
Dude, Matt, why are you feeling bad, man? We love your high message.
No, that's the best message we've
That is
gotten,
the best
man.
message we've gotten in any stream. No, I'm not even. I feel like I'm not even being sarcastic. Like I seem super sarcastic, but I love the high message with that adorable dog. Like I just love
No,
it. So
seriously, it's a good hand-in-hand combo right there.
Okay, Jacob, real quick. Yeah, Judgment at Nuremberg was the first movie he watched last year in his marathon. He watched it at 4 a.m. and was fully invested. I can see how. Like first 20 or 30 minutes was hard for me, but then like did not lose my attention the rest of the movie. You guys buy anything this month for the 30% off Criterion sale? Just a quick yes or no answer, guys. No for me.
No.
Okay,
No.
waiting for July.
Yeah.
Just don't look at it, eat it.
That is American Psycho.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't
Yeah.
even. What?
That might have
what-
been a scene that was cut out for you, Nate.
Yeah. It might have been.
All right, cool.
No, you know what? I don't even want to put might in front of that. It definitely
was.
It definitely
Yeah,
was.
it was.
All right, cool. Hey, Jackson, this is for you.
Well, who's Jimmy? I want to
You
know.
are Jimmy Cracked Corn, and I don't care.
Well, I'm telling you guys that Jimmy Crack Corn and I don't care. That's not my name, though. I'm just letting you guys know. I don't care that Jimmy Crack Corn, but
Yeah. You know what? I don't care either. Actually, now that I think about
no,
it,
I don't think anybody does.
they should write a song about that.
Yeah, really. Somebody needs to come up with that. I think it'd be a really catchy tune on the farmland. I'm making a YouTube channel this week.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo.
I have
Video
been
essay.
working tirelessly on my video.
Yeah, Jackson has a video essay
We're
coming
excited.
out. Okay, guys. Let's. There's a few other comments, but I'm going to go ahead and get started with our rankings. Really quickly. Never. I don't look good with a beard. I tried it at the beginning of quarantine. I tried it at the beginning of quarantine, and I didn't like. Not only did I not like how it looked, I didn't like the feel of it. Like constantly, I was touching my face, and I was like,
No,
just
that's
not for
the
me.
worst part about beards is your concept. It's the
Yeah.
staple of grabbing your chin and kind of caressing it. That's like
Yeah.
the beard. That's
Well,
like
now-
I hate it, but I keep
mean,
the
now
beard
I
anyway.
I do it. I do it all the
Definitely
time. Way too
excluded.
often.
I definitely feel excluded now. Didn't even think about that. I'm the only beardless one here.
You stand out.
Yeah, well, fair enough. There we go. Yeah, I'll let everyone read the comments. We are going to go ahead and get started. So let's see. Nick and Jackson, you both have 11 titles to rank, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to let you both go first with your 11. Really quickly, I'll throw out there. Am I echoing?
You're echoing me.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
Hello?
I can. You're echoing.
Is that just the room you're in? Oh, I can hear myself now.
Hello.
Here, let's how about you guys mute yourselves when I guess you're not talking. See if that helps at all. Does that help? Sounds better. Okay, cool. We'll kind of experiment. Okay, guys. So really quickly, I watched 10 titles originally in our last live stream where we announced what the categories were for the stream. I mentioned that one of the movies we'd be watching was a short film. However, before the marathon started, I realized that every movie I'm watching is super long. Like even, sure, there were the 170-minute plus films, but even after that, there were several 2-hour films. Downfall was 2.5 hours. long story short, if I wanted to have a decent amount of breaks, at least 15 minutes in between each movie, I had to cut the short film. So I personally didn't watch the short film. However, Jackson and Nick did. And so they will be starting with their number 11s, and their list will include their short films. And then I'll hop in at number 10. So Nick, how about we start with you, and then Jackson, you take it away.
Okay. Could you guys guess what my number 11 is?
I'm trying to think of every movie.
Is it your short film?
No.
No, there's a movie. Oh, Good Dinosaur.
Yeah. Good Dinosaur is number 11.
Yeah.
Like I said in the video, the movie is beautifully animated, at least from the background. The foreground looks horrendous. I don't know what it is, but I thought the dinosaurs looked terrible. And that's about it. It was an average, basic animated movie that felt very lowbrow for Pixar and Pixar standards. I'm happy I watched it because I needed to watch it, but I won't watch it ever again.
I also hate The Good Dinosaur. It is not very good. It's
Not actually
good.
let's have a little bit of we won't spend too much time on each of our movies because we'll be here all night. But Good Dinosaur, I think we all agree that it's not the best movie out there, one of Pixar's worst. And I completely agree with everything that both Nick and Michaela said in his video. Jackson, how about you?
Yeah, I cannot fathom how that movie got made because it was shelved for so long by Pixar that it definitely feels like they're like, yeah, we've made this, might as well not let the effort go wasted. Here's a movie for you. And I think even they realize, because I've never once below average dinosaur. And for that, it's not even that. It is so bad, even for Pixar standards. Like, it is bad on a regular movie basis. Like, it's not bad, but it's definitely mediocre. Super forgettable.
Which is disappointing too, because I remember when the first trailer came out, I was very intrigued by it. It was that commercial where the meteor goes by and all the dinosaurs watch it and then they continue eating. And it's like, oh, and the whole premise is like, what if the dinosaurs never went extinct? And I'm like, whoa, this is like Pixar. This is going to be good. And then no.
Look, you know a movie's going to be bad when Steve Zahn voices one of the characters in the movie. So Steve Zahn is just a weird guy to me. Never really been a big fan. And when I saw his name in the credits, I was like, oh boy, I'm in for a treat right now. So
Steve Zahn is the actor that I'm like, you're in this? All right, I guess.
I will say, though, he is in War for the Planet of the Apes, and somehow that movie is still an absolute masterpiece.
And he's also in Rescue Dawn, but he dies pretty quickly in that movie. Spoiler alert.
Gets his head chopped off? Like,
super brutal scene.
I was going to watch it now.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah. Okay, Jackson, you're number 11. Oh, really quickly, should we have Jackson just like rank his movies, or should we first have him share what he watched, just in no order?
I could do that.
Yeah.
Share what you watched.
And
obviously, don't do the ranking, but just share what you watched so people have an idea.
Okay, so I'll just do it by the category. So for two, we did two 170-minute plus films, and I chose both The Deer Hunter, same as Nathan, and Yi Yi, which is a film by Edward Yang, and it is on the Criterion Collection. And then
Yi Yi.
And it stands for a 1 and a 2. And then we chose a foreign language film. I chose Another Round, which is now Oscar winning. I thought it was only Oscar nominated when I picked it. But speaking of Oscar winners, Best Picture winner, I chose The Lost Weekend by Billy Wilder. Movie from my watch list. I chose from my watch list on Letterboxd. I cannot tell you the last time I checked my watch list on IMDb. But this one from my watch list, didn't even watch it. It was The Wrestler. It would have been. I'm still very curious to see this movie. So if anybody's seen it, please let me know if I should watch it like tonight. Movie from my birth year, I chose Three Kings by David O. Russell. Stars George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube, and everybody's favorite Spike Jonze, the filmmaker. Animated film, I went with My Neighbor Totoro. And then my top 250 film from IMDb was Paris, Texas. My recommendation from Nate was, of course, the 2014 masterpiece, whose sequel is now the greatest film of all time, Paddington.
Yes.
And then my recommendation from Nick was the Bong Joon-ho classic Mother.
Oh yeah.
And those were the movies I watched. Well, for the most part.
Awesome, man. So let's hear your number 11.
My number 11 was a film I didn't even mention here. So it was a short film by Noel Miller, who is a YouTuber that I really, really like. He partners with Cody Ko a lot. And he made a short film just last year, and it was called Lumberjacked. And that is my number 11.
Okay. Starting off with a bang.
Yeah, no true description about this. It's just an 11, 12-minute short film that everybody should, if you're a fan of really like raunchy, like dark comedy, up your alley if you like that stuff.
Sounds like my kind of movie.
Yeah, it was made just for Nate. I can't believe you didn't see the dedicated to Nathan Hale at the end of it.
Jackson, is Steve Zahn in this movie?
He's actually every character in the film.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not. No, he's this actually. It has a lot of big YouTube stars in it. I can't name them by name, but I do know. Like if I told you a video, like the one guy who's like, "What is up, Kyle? What is up, dude? Like, what is up?" I don't know if you've seen that Vine, but that guy's in it. He's pretty funny in it.
Well, that's random. Okay. I'll go ahead and start with my number 10, and then we can just do Nick and Jackson next. So my number 10, probably not too much of a surprise from those who saw my ratings, or my rating. It goes to The Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it was just a hard movie to sit through. I gave it a 2 out of 5, I think, on Letterboxd. It's not like awful, but it's something I never want to watch again. And the animation is incredibly outdated, as well as the story is just like, I love the Peter Jackson series. And I know that, like, obviously it's based on the book, so they're both pulling from the same adaptation, the same source. I mean, but it's just, I'd much rather watch Peter Jackson's version. So
yeah,
that is my number 10. Have either of you seen this movie?
No.
I have.
Really, Nick?
I forgot. Well, I watched when I was younger. Like I said, like I rented it from the library, like my family did when I was like younger, and I had a library card.
I definitely have a library card to this day, and I use it.
I do.
It's a way to get movies for free.
But I forgot how creepy the characters looked in it. When I saw like the video you were showing when you sent it to us, I was like, I didn't remember that it looked that bad. Yeah, it looks terrible.
Yeah, it's very
dated. You know what's sad is I haven't seen that version, and of course I'm gonna pick Peter Jackson's version 100% every time.
Yeah,
but I prefer the animated Hobbit to the Peter Jackson Hobbit trilogy.
Really?
So it's a vice versa. I mean, I obviously haven't seen animated Lord of the Rings. Guarantee I would not like it even a fraction as much as any of the Peter Jackson ones. But the animated Hobbit, I much prefer to.
Can I just say that
trilogy.
Sam looked terrible? They did a disservice.
Oh, Sam looks horrifying.
Gosh, he's the hero of this story, and you made him look like that.
Yeah, and not only
the funny thing is, there's no Return of the King. They just have the first two books.
So he just looks like a bumbling idiot the whole time, man.
Yeah, no, exactly. By the way, do you both know what this is from? I do, but I'm wondering if you do.
Having fun isn't hard when you have a library card. I feel like I've heard
Oh
that
man,
before.
that sounds so familiar.
Oh, it's so sad. Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card. It's from Arthur. Anyways. Anyways, this is okay. Only the best episode of Arthur, but whatever. Okay, Nick.
What about when BW?
Yeah.
That's her name.
Yeah, I know. Dora Winifred is her full name. What the heck? All right, Nick, let's hear your number 10.
My number 10, I enjoyed the movie, so don't wreck me over the coals, people. My number 10 is going to be GoldenEye. I liked it. It was fun. I kind of lost interest after like 2 hours in. I felt like the last 15 minutes dragged. Sean Bean's in it, and it's a pretty decent movie when he dies. Spoiler alert.
I don't think we needed a spoiler alert. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
it'd be a spoiler alert if he didn't die.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I mean, like I said, like I liked it. The action was fun. It was cool watching a James Bond film. Pierce Brosnan was a phenomenal James Bond. Very underrated, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about Pierce Brosnan's James Bond a lot. And I liked it. I feel like, again, the movie it lost me towards the end of it. And I felt like, I don't know. I feel like even though I love Sean Connery's James Bond, Daniel Craig's James Bond to me is the defining James Bond. I don't know why. I can't see anybody else now. It's just so weird. Unless it's Idris Elba. If he's the next James Bond, I'm all down for that.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good choice. Yeah, that's funny because Brosnan was my first Bond because we had a VHS of Die Another Day. So that was the very first one I saw. And if you thought GoldenEye was a drag, try getting through Die Another Day. That movie is garbage. I hate that movie. But I loved GoldenEye when I was like 10. That was my favorite James Bond because I've always loved James Bond, but I really got into the series in high school. And when I was rewatching the series, because I loved GoldenEye and I always held that one so high, completely know what you mean. The last 30 minutes of that movie, you would think would be this awesome action scene, but it's super boring. And it's super okay, let's wrap up. We know you win, James Bond. We don't need to be kept up in suspense this whole time. And it takes too long. And it is one of the longer Bond movies too. So goes to show. But it is a good movie. I like GoldenEye. I'm not knocking GoldenEye. I just agree with Nick's critique on the last 30 minutes or so.
And I haven't even seen it, so I'll just go ahead and let Jackson throw his top 10 or number 10 in there really quick. Got to throw this out there for Jackson. Dying to see where Punch Drunk Love ends up.
I'm very excited. Not only it is the best movie of all time, if you ask me. Well, it's my favorite.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, yes, we will. My number 10 is the other Noel Miller short film that I watched. Suki. The only reason these two are at the bottom is not because they're bad compared to the rest of the movies. I'd actually put Suki above a couple of the movies on here, but because they're short films and they were made for YouTube, I can't really like count them in the ranking. So yeah. I mean, they're both really, really good and they're really well made. Like, you know, cinema quality here. But yeah, they're just not, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same.
Fair enough, man. I haven't seen any of those short films, Nick. Okay.
I don't even know who that
Yeah,
is.
I figured, that's why I wanted to keep it light and short on these two.
All right. Well, let's move on to my number 9. I am going with shocker here, probably. I'm gonna go with Birdman. It's not awful, but Jackson, what? He's perplexed.
I want everybody to know I do not agree with this, so don't come at me. Don't come for me.
Well, can I just say, Jackson, you're gonna hate my number 9 too?
Wait, Nick, we got the same one.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah!
Birdman is number 9 for me as well.
Let's just have an open conversation, Nick. 10 reasons why we hated Birdman. No, I'm just kidding. No, I didn't even hate it.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. No, so the thing is, Birdman was the third movie I watched, and it was the first one I watched in the marathon where I got a little bit, I don't even know if tired was the word. Maybe it was tired, but I just finished. Mother was the first one I watched, as you guys know, and that was like, I highly recommend everyone start with the comedy when they do these marathons because it's a great way to start. Deer Hunter blew my mind, and then Birdman was just kind of like, it was a movie that I appreciated like crazy. Like as I was watching it, obviously the whole one take cinematography method that they used was amazing, but I was almost even more impressed that they were able to do that one take and transition so smoothly into the next scene. Like, it was so cool how they did that. It reminded me of an episode from The Haunting of Hill House. I don't know if
Yes.
you guys, yeah, do you know what I'm talking about, dude?
Great episode. That's my
Yes,
favorite
there's an
episode.
episode where they transition from the present to the past, back and forth the whole episode. And the fact that they're able to do that in one take, it reminded me, like when I was watching Birdman, I was like, this is exactly like Haunting of Hill House. So honestly, from a technical standpoint, like 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, however you rate your movies. But the story itself didn't really stick with me. I didn't really love the characters either. Thought the performances were good, especially with what they're working with and how it's hard to like do that kind of movie. But I don't know. That's all I really have to say. And we just lost 2 subscribers, so that's awesome. Nick.
Yeah, everything Nate said, like the technical achievements of the film are just astounding. My biggest problem with the movie, and I love metaphorical movies, but I felt like the movie was way too metaphorical, and it got to the point where I was just like, okay, I understood what you were going for, but then the end of the movie, I was like, what? Like, I understood what you were trying to tell me, but it felt like the end of the movie, you were trying to push something else. And at that point in time, I was like, okay, it's too late. It's too late. The performances are great. Edward Norton's character, even though he's despicable, I loved him.
Yeah, he's
I don't know. Like him and Emma Stone together, I didn't really like, but at the same time, I kind of did because they're both broken people.
I got to go with Zach Galifianakis as my favorite character.
Yeah, he was phenomenal in the movie.
I love Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
What about the guy that gets hit in the head with the light?
Oh, great performance. He took that.
That was honestly hilarious. That was like that happened so fast, and I'm like, what the heck?
And you know what's crazy is I didn't realize how stacked the cast was. I didn't even know Naomi Watts was in this movie, and she's also really good in this film. So I mean, it's the performances are great. Technical stuff is great. The problem for me is it's just too metaphorical, and I don't know. Didn't love it. Didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
No, I
you want to give any rebuttals of the movie you love?
Oh man, I love Birdman. I see what you're both saying because it's definitely a very symbolism heavy movie, but the thing with like me and watching that movie is I love seeing this guy because obviously it's perfect casting with Michael Keaton, this guy who actually played a superhero. He's now washed up because I think Michael Keaton had a resurgence after Birdman, but he's washed up and he's got all these people around him who clearly know what's best for him, but they've got problems of their own too. Like Emma Stone's character, she's like trying to be there for him, but she's also like a recovering drug addict and she's got all of her issues. And then like Holly from The Office, Amy Ryan comes in, but like I just love that it's about this guy's life, but he like none of that has anything to do with the movie. It's all just white noise, and that's so perfect because like it goes to show how egotistical this character is, and he's so blind to the world that he only sees like the stage and the character and that relevance, you know, in his head. He wants to make that real. So that's why he has all these visions and stuff. And the ending, if you haven't seen Birdman by now, I'm totally going to spoil it, but it's not even really a spoiler because it's a symbolic ending. But he kills himself. Like, obviously, that's he killed himself. That's what I took away. And when she looks out the window and looks up, she's like, oh, he got what he wanted. He's like, because he died, now he's going to be back in the mainframe. He's going to get that recognition that he thinks he deserved. And it's like bittersweet. It's not necessarily sad, and it's not like, because they don't even treat it sad in the movie. Like when he jumps out the window, you don't even see that, and you don't even like feel sad. You're kind of like, whoa, what just happened? But that's what I took away from it, and that's why I love it so much, is that it's about this guy who's so in his own head that he forgets that he has a life to end, you know, a life to go about.
I'm going to just quickly comment that. All right. Thank you, Jackson. Let's hear your number 9.
My number 9 is The Lost Weekend. Another Best Picture winner, man.
And you give us garbage for putting Birdman at number 9.
No, I know. I actually really, really like this movie. There's not a lot I can knock on this movie, really. The only thing is that it is very outdated, like incredibly outdated. But I enjoyed it for the novelty of it, and not only that, but like if this movie was remade today, which it technically was with another round, like technically, even though another round has a completely different plot. Yeah, for sure. But if it were made today, I think this movie would be fantastic. I think it would be a great movie. So I can see why it won back in the day for Best Picture.
Billy Wilder is so ahead of his time with his movies. So
really, he is.
Yeah, even that kind of movie being released back then. I mean, obviously, I didn't live during that time era, so for all I know, they could have been just as quote unquote worldly as we are today, in a different sense. But I just feel like I watch his movies and I'm like, I don't see movies from this time frame like Billy Wilder made them. I just think he's way ahead of his time.
Yeah, Some Like It Hot, man. If there were ever a more relevant movie than that.
And honestly, The Apartment too.
Really? Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, that's a very ahead of its time. But we're going to go ahead and move on to our number 8. Jackson, I don't know if you'll love that I ranked this above Birdman, but it's a movie that I personally, it's a movie that I can see myself rewatching sooner than Birdman. I guess that's the best way I can put it. But I have Stardust at number 8. The movie is not awful by any means. It's just super goofy, and it's obviously it's not really a family film. It's a PG-13 movie. It's like a family film when your kids are 13 and 14. They're like, hey, let's go see the Stardust movie with Michelle Pfeiffer and Robert De Niro. And then the dad's hoping that Robert De Niro like shoots someone in the face the whole movie, but it doesn't happen. Instead, he does. Robert De Niro was such an do you remember anything with Robert De Niro in that movie?
I don't remember anything from that movie. I just remember the main guy turns into a mouse at one point. He gets turned into a mouse. Oh,
yes, that's very true. Yep, that happens. But anyways, sorry, Gavin just said he's surprised I haven't said American Psycho yet. You guys will be surprised. American Psycho is
I'm waiting for it, man.
High. Yeah. So yeah, number 8 Stardust. I don't know too much more to say. I've really shared all my thoughts in the video. And Nick and Jackson, you don't remember too well. Nick, you haven't seen it, right?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay, let's just go ahead and move on to Nick's number 8.
I'm sorry, Nate. Separation.
Oh, dude, I thought you were gonna say 10 Cloverfield Lane.
No.
Oh no,
So Separation to me, I really like the film. I actually gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I think it's a great film. I just think that the 7 before it, and that's the thing is people need to understand. Like I feel like my 24-hour movie marathon was phenomenal. Like, I felt like other than Good Dinosaur, like all of these movies, like I liked all of these movies. So it was like hard to like place where I wanted to put stuff. But A Separation, I think, was the movie that hurt the most during the marathon. I was dozing off quite a bit in the movie. But I will say that I never fell asleep like I did with Barry Lyndon. I think I missed maybe 20 minutes of the movie, but it was dialogue driven. So like I knew what was going on.
That's the kind of movie that I would recommend watching outside of the marathon, only because of the dialogue drivenness of it, because it really is just, it's so good. I can see why you ranked it that low, but man, like just the plot, it went in a direction I was not expecting. And then the ambiguous ending, I'm like, what? Yeah. And like, it's so amazing. Jackson, you haven't seen it, right?
I haven't seen it, no.
Yeah, it's a great film, and I'm really curious to see more from this director because apparently from early, I mean, granted, it's very early, but very early Oscar talks is that his next film, which comes out this year, could really do a lot of good things at the Oscars potentially.
I didn't know he had another movie coming out.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
That's for Hardy, man. For Hardy. Yeah. I definitely want to check out more of his filmography because I think he's a really good director.
Watch The Salesman next. That's my recommendation.
I've heard nothing but great things about that. And that won, didn't it? That won Best.
It won. Yeah, I think it won 2016.
Yeah, because that was I remember that being a big deal when it won.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie. That I might even like that one more than A Separation. I don't know.
Ooh,
they're good. They're both really good.
Sounds good.
They're Iranian or Persian?
Iranian. No. Israel.
Oh, so they're Israeli?
Yeah, Israeli.
I know they're Middle Eastern. I
remember saying it in my video and I couldn't say it because I was so tired. I was like, Israel.
Yeah.
Israel.
All right, Jackson, let's hear your number 8.
My number 8 was 3 Kings by David O. Russell.
That was your birth year movie, yeah?
Yes, this is my birth year movie. I really liked this until it like started to become, you know, it's, I don't know how to say this. It feels like I've seen it before, but I haven't seen it before. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it felt familiar in terms of theme and what was happening in the plot. And it felt like I was watching like an adaptation of like an old tale, of like an old folklore tale. So I was like, I know where this is going to go. So in a way, it lost points for that because I did find myself kind of slipping during that movie a little bit because I was like, I know where this is going and I know what's going to happen now. But it is a really good movie and probably like the most stylistic war movie I've ever seen.
What movie was your number 8? Sorry, Jackson.
It's called Three Kings.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was looking at Jacob's comment of him saying Stardust is a much better version of The Princess Bride. That's blasphemy.
That's sacrilegious.
Empire Strikes Back and Princess Bride are my 2 favorite movies of all time. Okay, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and you wouldn't have Stardust without The Princess Bride.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've heard.
I need to say.
Yeah, it's like a reimagining in a way of Princess Bride. Like it's very.
It definitely, yeah, I can definitely see. How about we do this? How about we? I'm gonna invite the whole chat to do this. We will share our rankings, and while we're talking about our rankings, leave your comments, and then we'll go through your comments.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, that's what we'll do right now. So, yeah, Nick's favorite movie, Princess Bride. I myself actually prefer Princess Bride over Stardust as well. Stardust is like it's a fun movie, but although Princess Bride is way older, I feel like it's dated. It's like well-aged wine. Not that I even drink, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like its age helps Princess Bride. Whereas Stardust, while I was watching it, it was made in 2007. There were some visual effects that I was like, that looks awful. And so in Princess Bride, you don't really see that in that movie. So I'm going to give the win to Princess Bride. And we got this comment as well. Go ahead, Jackson.
Bride is, you know, I like what you said, Nate. It is like a fine wine. It does age really, really well. But it's also one of those, like, you can watch that at any age and it'll still take you back to the very first time you watched that movie. If you had a good experience with it your first time. Because all I think about when I watch The Princess Bride is being a kid, watching it with my mom and my family, and just quoting it endlessly after. And so every time I've watched it since then, I can go back to that and be like, yeah, that movie just means a lot to me. And on top of that, it's a perfect movie. You cannot sit through that movie and be bored. I get you just can't.
Yeah, that's everything you want. It's everything you want.
Fair enough. Really quickly, I want to. Bernie's a good friend. Bernardo's a good friend. So,
hey, Bernardo.
Hope the midterm went well, man. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, really.
And then Tomas, to you as well. Welcome. Okay.
What's going on, Tomas?
Okay. Let's go ahead and we got a few more comments about Princess Bride. Really quickly, does anyone know about this? Without Stardust, there would be no Days of Future Past. I don't know anything about this.
I have no idea. I haven't seen the movie, so.
Well, without Days of Future Past, there would be no A Walk in the Woods with Nick Nolte and Robert Redford. So, I'm just saying.
It's true. It's a circle. It's a cycle. They all have to. They all support each other.
Exactly.
I think. So we're talking about how Stardust was my number 8. I do think it's like a fine movie. It's like I think I gave it 3 out of 5. I see people who say they love it. I understand why they love it. It just wasn't my favorite.
Can you show the next comment, please?
Yeah. Princess Bride works so American Psycho could run down the hall wearing only white sneakers with the chains. Gavin with always the good comments, man.
That's so good.
Man, I cannot wait to start talking about American Psycho.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Nick's number 8.
Oh, we're back at me, huh?
Or was it number 7?
Separation.
I'm sorry. We're at. I'm
Jackson.
sorry. We're at number.
7,
oh
right?
yeah, we were reading the comments. We're at number 7. And Jackson's was 3 Kings. Yeah.
Yep. Yours was
Mine was Stardust.
Stardust. Yeah.
Yeah. So my number 7. Okay, my number 7 is Downfall, the movie that was about Adolf Hitler's final days. And honestly, in my Letterboxd review, I said that Downfall. In the video, I kind of only talk bad about it. I kind of want to elaborate on it just a little bit more, just to kind of like solidify my thoughts on it, I guess. So the movie is ranked so low on the list because, first off, it's just a really depressing movie. Like, I know that you're supposed to. I know that, like, obviously the Nazis are not good people, and so we shouldn't, like, we should be happy that they lost the war and everything, but it's still at the same time like watching people commit suicide, and it's just a very dark stuff happening. Like, without going into too much detail, because I'm sure there's young viewers here too. There's like they like kill their children in a very careful way, like how they poison their kids because they know they're dying. They know they're gonna lose the war, and it's just like there's so many things that are like, gosh, like that's just so disturbing. That Downfall to me is an amazingly well-made movie, and the guy who played Hitler, incredible. He basically yells the whole movie, but like still incredible. But because the movie's so sad, like I probably never want to see this movie again. And it's just like, it doesn't leave you happy at all. It's just like, war sucks, life sucks, Hitler's an awful person. I can't believe this is like history. Like, for all those reasons, if anyone has seen Downfall, it's not the most talked about movie. It was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film, but it lost a year it was nominated. But if anyone else has seen it, leave a comment on what your thoughts are. But those are my more developed thoughts. So you both haven't seen it, I'm guessing. So let's just move on to Nick's number 7.
My number 7 is the cult classic Donnie Darko.
I'm interested. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I liked this movie quite a bit. The reason why I think I ranked it lower is because it was different than anything I was expecting. I didn't know what to. I actually literally went in with no expectations, but somehow I felt like my expectations were not met, and I had no expectations. It's the weirdest thing one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life, because number one,
seen Eraser Bed, have you?
It deals with time travel, which is like, what? Number 2, it deals with like the symbolism of heaven and hell, and that's really cool and interesting.
Oh, P.S. Don't spoil any of it too much.
No. I'm not spoiling any of it. This is just we're just kind of getting in a roundabout way, but it's I don't know, like a young angst Jake Gyllenhaal is really cool to see. And Maggie Gyllenhaal, the fact that they play siblings in this movie is really cool, because they're siblings in real life. What? But excellent casting.
Yeah, wow.
The chemistry between them feels so real.
Oh my God.
No, but like it was very weird to me. I didn't know what the movie was gonna do next. Like every single scene that the movie, like every single next thing that happened, it felt like it was just topping the thing before. Like I was like, what? What? My mind was blown by the time that this movie ended. And the one thing I will say about the movie, technically, and this isn't its fault, but it does feel a bit dated. With the soundtrack, especially, even though the soundtrack is awesome, I love the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very dated because of that, and also some of the CGI and effects, they just don't look very good. But
yeah,
it's a movie that I definitely want to revisit again, because I have so many questions still. Because I'm like, how does this make sense? Make it make sense to me, Jackson.
Oh, well, I'd have to spoil it, and I don't want to.
Yeah, we can talk.
Please don't do that.
No, we'll talk separately after this.
Yeah.
But I saw that movie in high school, so it's a super funny story how I came to discover this movie. Had never heard of it, but I had this goal that I wanted to see every single thing Seth Rogen has ever been in.
Yeah, he's in it. He's in it.
So that movie was on the list, and it was on Netflix. So I was like, yo, the convenience here. So I start watching it. I get 30 minutes in. Seth Rogen hasn't showed up. So I'm like, what is this thing? What is this? And then it keeps going. And I'm like, wait, what's happening? I've seen that movie, I joke you not, probably at least 7 or 8 times. And I've gotten a good grasp on it. I've never watched an analyzed video on it. So I have gone totally on my own speculation on things. But there are some things that I'm like, that can't, like, that's not symbolism that can be interpreted subjectively. That's what it means. So the ending of that movie,
yeah,
one of the weirdest and like, wait, what endings I think I've ever seen. Like it ends, I remember being like, wait, that's how it ends? What?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. But can I just say that I think it's really funny how everything in the 2 years that we've done the 24-hour movie marathon comes full circle. Last year, I ended my marathon with a Jake Gyllenhaal movie. This year, I ended my marathon with a Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
I'll put it like this. You put it perfectly. The movie comes full circle. That's the only hint I'll give you without spoiling anything. That's just the only hint.
Yeah.
Everything
So
comes
Kevin
full
Spacey.
circle.
Yeah, it was so watching this movie. It was nothing. I was expecting it to be like creepy, and it was not that at all. I was like, this is weird. This is bizarre.
There's not one scene that follows the next that you feel like you're following a plot. You're like, wait, what just happened in that scene? Like like you're still trying to think, wait, what just happened? Like the whole dinner scene with the family where they're all arguing with each other and they start saying the most weirdest insults, and you're like, wait, what is going on?
Yeah,
that movie's awesome. You got to see it, Nate. You really got to see it.
Nick, which cut did you watch of the film?
I probably just the theatrical. It was the one that I rented it on Amazon Prime, so I'm gonna guess it was the theatrical.
Yeah, it was probably the theatrical. I've
Gotcha.
never seen any other cut. So,
all right, Jackson, let's hear your number 7.
my number 7 is an anime classic from our favorite studio, Ghibli, and that would be My Neighbor Totoro.
Or as High School Nathan says, My Neighbor Tater Tot.
Yeah, My Neighbor Tater Tot. So my exposure to this movie actually comes from Nathan, because he worked at the movie theater while we were in high school, and a girl he worked with was obsessed with Studio Ghibli. Yep, and so he was getting all of these movies from her to watch, and he watched
her like whole DVD collection.
No, I remember going to your house, and you were like, "Dude, she just gave me all of these movies to watch."
She still creeps me out to this day. Anyways,
anytime I go in the movie theater and I see her in there, I just go, "Well,
she still works there."
And she's like an entity, man. You cannot escape her. She's like gum on your shoe.
One time I was working and she just started eating like a cup of jalapenos in front of me. And I'm like, can you please like stop that? She's like, what? You don't like jalapenos? I was like, I mean, not like that. And it was just very uncomfortable. And then,
yeah, she was. I don't even want to say she was. She still is weird. But that movie was like one of the only ones you said you had watched. And I remember being like, that movie sounds really stupid. Why would anybody want to watch that?
Okay.
but then like over the years, I've heard nothing but great things. You've told me it's fantastic.
Very symbolic too. I don't know if you caught on to the
with
it, but
definitely. Yeah. I gotta say though, as much as I had this movie hyped up, it was not overhyped because I didn't have high expectations going in, but I definitely was disappointed by it.
Fair enough.
Like I thought, just because like when it finished, I was like, yeah, that was a good movie. It's no Spirited Away. There's the like like the way people were regarding it, they're like, it's on the same level of Spirited Away. I'm like, no, absolutely not. There's no way it could ever be.
Did you watch the dubbed or sub?
I watched the sub. I watched it on HBO Max.
Nice. Yeah. I've that's the version I've seen too. I've only seen it once. It was in high school. And I think it was a movie where when I watched it, I was like, okay, that's definitely better than the other Ghibli films I've watched that Crystal lent to me, which Spirited Away wasn't part of those, by the way. But it was when I realized, like, when I thought about it more and found out what the ending means, I was like, whoa, that movie's like really deep. So I think that's one of the reasons people hold it to such a high, tier or whatever, just because the ending is like so symbolic. But I understand that. It's a movie that I need to revisit myself because I remember liking it enough.
Yeah, it was good, and I would not be opposed to watching it again. So that says a lot. I think just because I was disappointed has no say in how much I liked it. I think I liked it a lot more than I'm giving credit here, because I did. I gave that movie, I think, the way I'm making it sounds like I gave it like a 2 or lower on Letterboxd. I think I gave it a 3.5, and it could go up to a 4.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so definitely liked it a lot.
Nice. Okay, so a few comments from the last, what we were just talking about. Okay, let's see. Oh, Bernie's only heard about Downfall through the memes. That makes sense. There's the Hitler rant video parody that's on YouTube where you just like insert a theme and then have Hitler responding to it really mad. I watched American Psycho on a date. Pretty insane experience. I could never do that on a date. Yeah,
I'm guessing you did not have a second date.
Well, and then right here, well, he can't
admit to that in the comments, but if you'll privately,
you can't admit to it, yeah. Okay, apparently Alex's dad hates Donnie Darko.
Interesting.
Your dad. I'm just kidding.
And then Bernie, Donnie Darko is a film you have to watch multiple times in order to understand and appreciate. Like me, I like the film when the more you rewatch it, the more you love the film. That's fair.
Yeah, that's like a lot of
watch the
movies.
director's cut. Apparently, that's
I need to watch the director's cut.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you
too.
for reminding me, Bernardo. I really do.
There actually is a sequel called S. Darko.
Yeah, there is an actual sequel.
I've heard it's horrendous.
Well, it's kind of like American Psycho 2 with Mila Kunis.
Yeah, people say it's terrible.
There's a second American Psycho.
Yeah,
with Mila
Kunis. I've actually watched it. I watched it one day because I was bored.
Nice.
William Shatner's in it too.
Well, that's
William Shatner always showing up in random movies.
Yeah.
Sounds like Texas Chainsaw. I can't remember what we were talking about when we talked about that. Tater Tot, bruh. Yes, exactly. Oh yeah, making predictions at your third movie. Yeah, Nick has to watch a final. Nick's tradition is to have a Jake Gyllenhaal film, be his final film. My tradition is to have a Robert De Niro film in the mixed, somewhere in the mix. I gotta have De Niro, man. Although I've seen 4 movies from him now, I'm like, gosh,
you gotta see more De Niro, and they only have to be in the 24-hour movie marathons here.
So next year, I gotta watch Southpaw.
No, the next.
Oh,
Bubble Boy.
No, Bubble Boy.
Yeah,
definitely Bubble Boy. Jackson and I have a very long history. Well, not long, but very specific history.
It's long now because it's like been almost 3 years.
Where is that movie? Do you have it?
No, I left it at your place. I left it at your place intentionally.
No idea where it is.
It's in the stratosphere somewhere.
Jackson and I had this thing where we left the copy of Bubble Boy DVD in each other's possession on and off. And like the funny thing is, if you open up the case, the disc is like completely broken. Like we destroyed the DVD. Yeah, it's destroyed. But we had this thing where we like passed the disc on to each other, the movie to each other. No idea where it is at this point.
No, I know. So the last time we did our exchange, it was last year. It was 2 years ago when we went to go see Blinded by the Light together. And at the end, we're hanging out, and you're like, "Oh, by the way, man, here you go." And I was like, "No!" And you were like, "Ah." But as soon as I got out of the car, last thing I did was just threw it in the car and then slammed the door.
Freaking Blinded by the Light, most forgettable movie. Okay,
I couldn't tell you anything other than that is the title of it.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like the date went well. We've been dating for 2 years now. Let's go!
Hey, dude, you got to keep her there. You got to keep her.
That is amazing. This is a good question. Will you ever bring back the movie in theaters category? Personally, so this is something that Jackson and I did when we did the marathon in high school. We saw X-Men Days of Future Past. The category was literally just see a movie in the theaters. And honestly, like I love that category. I'd be so down to bring that one back.
As long as there's movies if there's movies playing next year, which there should be, there will be.
Hopefully.
And there's gonna be a lot. And it's gotta be something that we haven't seen before. We'll do it next year. We're not gonna do it this year. There's nothing out. Like what are we gonna go watch on hold until terrible.
We should have waited until A Quiet Place Part 2 to do the
Oh my gosh, that would have been sick. Well, I don't actually, you know what? I'm happy we didn't, because I would have been so tired going into that movie, and I want to watch it with like the full experience.
Well, and not only that, it's so quiet. It's gonna be so quiet.
I can't wait, dude. Oh.
Dude, these trailers for it. I'm not one to hype trailers.
Did you see the final trailer today?
Yeah. It looks so good.
They have been really good trailers. I was worried when they announced a sequel. I was like, oh no.
Me too.
And then these trailers have been so good.
What I don't like, the only thing I don't like is like I never had a problem with them announcing a sequel, but the fact that they were like, we're going to tell the origin story of these. I don't care about an origin story, but like I'm down for this. Like I'm in it.
The clip of the like day, with John Krasinski alive again.
Oh my god.
Such a good clip. So really good teaser.
Okay, I have a list here with Heat added to my 24-hour movie marathon year 3 list.
I have tried. So let me say something about Heat, because that is a great choice. But I have tried watching that movie on 4 separate occasions. Have fallen asleep all 4 times.
Maybe I should just go ahead and delete it in the same sitting. So,
are you playing?
Okay, let's see. We're gonna. Has anyone seen Midnight Cowboy? I haven't. I know I need to because it's a Best Picture winner. But
yeah, I need to as well because Best Picture. But no.
My boss that I used to work for, he has a friend who was very, very, very heavily. He worked on that movie. I can't like say what because I don't remember.
Involved. Fair enough.
Yeah, no, he was very heavily involved in the making of that movie, and yeah, I want to see it. I've never seen it.
I want a YouTube channel where Alex's dad reviews movies. That's what I want.
Yeah, Alex's dad should have his own channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex is never mind.
You're nuts, Jackson. You're nuts.
I fell asleep not because I was bored, but because I was pretty bored.
Love to hear it. Okay, guys, we are at number 6.
6.
Okay, I have to go back to my ranking. Let me just post this. All right, number 6. My number 6 is the one we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, American Psycho. higher than a lot of people expected. The thing with American Psycho is I'm going to spoil it. So if you haven't seen it, mute your video right now and we'll comment when we're done spoiling it. I for whatever reason, knowing that the whole thing is like in his head or like is in his head, the ambiguous ending of like it's in his head or is in his head, I'm pretty sure it's in his head. But the fact that it's in his head, for some reason, I don't want to
like it.
It made me like it more. It makes it justified that those gruesome killings he didn't actually happen, I guess. Like, because there's just like for an example, the ATM scene when he just randomly shoots the old woman. I'm like, that's so sad. But then like if it's in his head, it goes from sad to hilarious.
Yeah.
It is pretty funny just if he did do it. He's shoving a cat into an ATM. This old lady comes by, he just takes out.
She's like, "Excuse me, sir, do you need to?" Like, it's so messed up. And then when he walks into the building and the security guard's like, "Oh, how may we help?" And he just shoots the security guard. And the guy's like smiling. He's like what? But anyways, I'm not gonna lie. When the marathon ended, the whole next day, the one movie I was thinking about the whole day, not my number 1, not my number 2, American Psycho, just because. No matter, like, although I didn't like a lot of it because, like, it's just not my kind of movie, was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Like,
yeah,
there are just so many funny lines. So many funny lines. Nick Jackson and I were talking about it just yesterday, like, just quoting back and forth all these hilarious lines. But it's hilarious, and, yeah, I'm not going to spend too much more time on American Psycho.
Can I just ask you?
Yeah.
Nick, I want to ask you about one.
You add your piece, and then let's move on so we don't spend too much time on it because we can talk about this the rest of the stream. Go ahead, Nick.
I wanted to ask you a question about one scene in particular, the Jared Leto scene when he's in his apartment. Jared Leto is there, and he starts talking about the all these musicians and their albums. How did you feel during that scene?
Well, okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I knew that. We're still doing spoilers, everyone. Sorry. I knew that he was going to kill Jared Leto. That scene. Is that what you're talking about? Like, how did I feel when he starts killing Jared Leto?
Well, how do you? Because that's my favorite scene in the entire movie. So,
well, okay. What I love so much is just how giddy he is during that whole scene. Like, he hates this guy so much. When he's like, "Hey," doesn't he say something like, "Hey, turn around" or something like that? Like,
"Hey, Paul."
Yeah, hey Paul, and he like just like starts. What?
The best part is when Jared Leto's like, "Is that a raincoat?" Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Also, the funny thing also is he does this little like it's not a skit, but he does this little like strut to Paul with his little axe next to him, and it looks so funny. Like it's just hey Paul, like, and then also sorry, I know I said we weren't going to quote it all because we could do that all night, but when it's like. Is that you, Patrick? No, Lewis, it's not me. Like, Lewis is the worst.
Lewis sucks, man. Yeah. And then, like, you call me when he's like, and Patrick's face is like, oh.
When he's in the bathroom, Patrick's like his face is so funny. Oh my gosh, it's honestly like, it's kind of like okay, really weird comparison. So just hear me out. It's kind of like Hereditary, where when I watched Hereditary, I watched it and I was like. That is one of I know Nick, you would disagree with this, but that is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life, and yet I love that it was this. Like it's like I felt like it was super disturbing and horrifying, But at the same time, I appreciated it because I was like, they did it. Like, they did amazing. With American Psycho, I have a lot of faults with it, but like, it was hilarious. And so
the
it's my
card
number six.
scene, the card
The
scene,
card-
is the
the
funniest
card
scene in
scene-
cinema.
Yeah, card scene is amazing.
The sad thing is like there's one particular also really quotable moment when he's at the bar, and
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's probably blocked out for Nate. Like, I literally thought when you're watching that, man, do I wish Nate had the full effect of that scene, because I know that they definitely censored that scene like hardcore.
No, I actually saw the bar scene. What he says, it's muted out what he says, but like you get the gist of what he's saying. But
It's so funny.
anyways, really quickly, so since we're about an hour into the stream and we're still on number 6, what I'm going to do is instead of going over the comments, keep talking. I'll just be sharing some comments on the screen. So, Nick, let's go ahead and move to your number 6.
My number 6 is going to be The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey.
By the way, sorry, really quickly, I need to type something. Spoilers done, so that the people who have it muted can unmute.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. I like the movie. Does it work as a Middle Earth film? No, because the plot is just kind of lazy. It's a really fun action movie, though. There's a lot of cool action sequences. The one problem I have with this movie is it feels, and I don't know if it's just me, but like The Lord of the Rings has CGI, but it's not an over-reliance of CGI. This movie has an over-reliance of CGI, where like every shot I looked at and I was like, that's fake. It looks so fake. Whereas like Lord of the Rings, it didn't look like that. You know what I mean? Like, even granted, there are some moments where it's like obvious CGI in Lord of the Rings, but like even some of the like the set pieces and everything, they looked real. And I'm like, wow, that looks amazing, because it was real. Whereas like this movie, it felt lazy. Like it was just, oh, this was in some studio somewhere.
Well, and
You know?
yeah, like the thing about the Hobbit movies is, and it's really sad because you can watch videos on YouTube of like behind the scenes of it. They were so behind in production because Peter Jackson had done all this elaborate planning because he didn't want to come back. Guillermo del Toro was going to do the Hobbit trilogy. And so Guillermo del Toro had this elaborate planning and all these shots laid out. And then he'd stepped off because he was like, I can't do this.
I forgot that Guillermo del Toro was behind the
me
Hobbit.
too.
Yeah. No, he came up with the shots and everything. Well, then Peter Jackson had to step in and he had to like basically start from scratch like 3 weeks before he had to go into shooting. So they were shooting the second movie like 8 months before it came out. So the first movie is the only one that had enough time to be planned, shot, have everything done in time. But because of that, because they were rushing production on the second movie, that's why the first one looks like it does and feels like it does, is because it was kind of rushed because Peter Jackson didn't have enough time to say, hey, let me take the time to edit the first movie and then go, keep working on the second one. He had to haul butt on the second one. So, but the first one is probably the best of that trilogy, I would say.
I personally like the second one the most, but I like it's they're all like movies that are very far from Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Jackson, what was your number 6? Sorry, really quickly. Yeah, I've seen Taxi Driver too.
Yeah, no. These guys don't care for Taxi Driver. I love Taxi
I haven't
Driver.
seen Taxi Driver.
Well, Nick, you're just
I don't care for it.
Yeah,
it was really boring to me, but yeah.
I totally understand that. No, if you don't know what you're getting into, it is definitely one of those type movies. But I'm a Scorsese like fanboy. I will defend Scorsese till the day I die.
Scorsese.
Sorry,
I just love that line from Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah. But my number 6 is Druk.
I'm sorry, what?
Which is Danish for another round.
I hate you.
I was like, what are you talking about?
No, the movie, when it started, it starts, but it doesn't have opening credits. And then after the first scene, it does. And it doesn't even show like the company presents. It just shows Druk on screen. And I'm like, wait, am I watching the right movie? And then then the subtitle shows up, another round. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, this was actually a really good movie. You two need to see it. It's really, really good. The first third, fantastic. Second third, pretty slow. and doesn't have a lot going on because it's just them drinking. They just keep drinking and drinking and drinking, and there's not a lot happening. Third act, last 40 so minutes, so good. This, like, I'd say from this category on, from like 6 to 1, these are all fantastic movies, like almost near masterpieces. A few of them are.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for you. Another round, is it a comedy or is it a drama? Because with the Oscars, like I said, they do terrible job at selecting scenes, and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, no, it's both. It's
a
good
drama.
Yeah, it's more on the drama side though, just because there's a lot, like especially on the third act side of things, a lot of, I wouldn't say sad or morbid things happen, but like consequences to the character's actions come to fruition in the third act, and then you're like, oh, this is actually like a heavy drama.
Gotcha.
Great ending though. Last 5 minutes are so good.
Fair enough. Let's go ahead and move on to our number 5.
I agree with you, Jared.
Yeah, I agree with most of what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of CGI.
Except for Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Endgame. I agree.
I just have a piece of my heart to MCU. We have a group chat, and we kind of talked about this the other day, actually. Okay, let's see if there's a thing. Yeah, let's see where they land. This is, man, Jared's waiting. He's like, come on.
Jared cannot hold the anticipation, man.
I know.
Okay, we are at number 5 now. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen. So my number 5 is I just realized, wait. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, I haven't shared either of your recommendations yet, but American Psycho was Nick's recommendation. Number 5 for me is my birth year movie, Mother. I feel like both years, the birth year movie has ranked right around this spot on the list. Last year, Bottle Rocket, it's just a good movie. Mother, it's just a good movie. Like, it's a movie you watch that you don't critique it at all. You just put it on and you literally just sit down and enjoy what you're watching. You laugh, you like the characters, it has a happy ending. It was just an adorable movie. Jackson, you've seen Mother. What are your thoughts?
I love Mother. I had a little play into you seeing it because I've been recommending this to you forever.
Yes, absolutely. Jackson's the one who, sorry, I'll just quickly throw a plug in for Jackson. Although this wasn't his recommendation for me, when it came to movies from 1996, I was between Mother and That Thing You Do, and Jackson played a part in me deciding with Mother, and as well as the Rotten Tomato score, or the IMDb Metacritic. But anyways,
no, and the best thing about it is it's an Albert Brooks movie, and I love Albert Brooks. He's the star of it. He's also the writer director. If you haven't seen Defending Your Life, which Nate, you're going to be getting the Criterion.
Yeah, dude.
That's honestly my favorite Albert Brooks movie.
Someone made a comment there saying it'd be cool if Criterion just released a box set of Albert Brooks's filmography.
Really?
I was like, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Jennifer Lawrence, so I got to check it out.
Yeah.
You're so dumb, Nick.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
I have not. No.
The way I described it, I was like, you just sit down, relax, laugh a few times. Like, no, not the same movie as the Jennifer.
No. Hey,
and also, I wasn't born in 2017. Like,
wait, so neither of you have seen the Jennifer Lawrence Mother?
Yeah, I have no intentions of ever watching.
Nate, I don't like him as a filmmaker.
No, Nate, you would absolutely despise it. It is one of those type of movies. Yep. Nick, I recommend it just because when you watch it, it is one of those that after you've watched it, you're like, I just experienced something and I don't know what. Like I just went through something.
He's such a weird filmmaker. Do you know what the premise of his next movie is? It's about like a guy who weighs like 1,000 pounds or something, and like starts.
Yeah. I remember reading about
like
it. Yeah,
it's called like Whale or something. I'm like, ugh.
He's actually got some really great movies, like The Wrestler, which was supposed to be one that I watched and I didn't.
That's not him.
That's him.
Really?
Yeah. And Noah with Russell Crowe. Do you remember when that came out? That's him.
Why does he have he has normal movies, then he has weirdo creepo movies? Why?
Mother is one of those, it's not even a movie. You're like, wait, did I stumble into some other world here? Like, what is going, I'm not joking. There's literally a scene where Jennifer Lawrence is walking through her house and the military just bombs one of the walls in. They start coming in. There's people in cages all around the house. And then there's this Satanist cult in the living room just sacrificing babies. And you're like, what is happening? What is supposed to be going on?
I know what the metaphor is. I knew it when I saw the trailer for it. Like,
well,
it's definitely a biblical allegory. And it's about how it's one of those, but it's good. It's really, really unique.
No, yeah, I can definitely say that the 1996 Albert Brooks film is not similar at all. And this one, it's about him having writer's block, so he moves in with his mother. It's a great family film.
and he keeps telling her how she needs to throw stuff out in the freezer after a while.
He's like,
no, it's in the freezer.
Why do you have bad sherbet? It's like, what? And then they go to the store together. Like, there's like 10 minutes of this movie is just them grocery shopping. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. And then he's like, I want to get the nutritional stuff, but it's $4. You don't need that.
Yeah. He buys like the organic peanut butter for like $10 or whatever. And she's like, now, why would you do that? But Debbie Reynolds, absolutely adorable. Honestly, really recommend this movie. So Nick, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is my short film, Never Hike Alone.
Oh, nice.
If anybody likes Friday the 13th or you like horror movies, I recommend this one. It's the one downside of it is obviously it's not going to have the same production value as, like a real movie. I mean, it's on YouTube. It's from Vincent DeSante. You can tell that the guy who made this movie has so much love for the franchise. And I love Friday the 13th. Yes, it's garbage. They're all garbage movies. They're not good. But you guys know me. I love my slasher movies, man. I love those movies so much. And I own the box set that came out last year for Friday the 13th. Like I love this series. One. Yeah, it's so nice.
Sick.
Most beautiful box set I own. But it's this, and I own this on Blu-ray, but I watched it on YouTube because I was like, I don't want to wake up my wife. But the movie's really well done. Like, it's got really good tension, and it's very isolated. It's about one guy. That's it. Jason stalks one person, and I really like that. The only thing I didn't like is that there's multiple. It's one of those movies that has multiple false endings, and I hated that. I was like, okay, come on, wrap it up. But they have some really nice surprises. Like, they get cameos in there, and I'm like, how'd they get this guy? So it's cool.
That's awesome.
Nice. Great, thanks. If anyone in the chat has seen this short film, leave your comments so we can discuss it a little bit. Jackson and I have not seen it, so
I have seen the first 2 Friday the 13th.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. I mean, they're not good movies. My favorite one is the 4th film, The Final Chapter.
Isn't that the one with Corey Feldman?
Yeah, but that movie.
Okay, I've seen that one then. I've seen.
That movie has incredible tension. That's like the scariest movie of the entire. Because they're just like dumb, fun, like campfire movies. Like, that's just what they are. They're popcorn movies.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Jackson. Let's hear your number 5.
So, I have it at number 5, but I don't know why. I watched it, and I do not remember anything from it.
I know what it is.
And that would be Paris, Texas. I feel so bad because I know so many people have this so highly regarded. And I have seen it. I'm not lying. But I just was so out of it. And I did not have the capacity to just take everything in that I was watching. I will say, and this is a spoiler, I fell asleep twice during this, and Paris, Texas was one of the movies that I fell asleep and I had to restart when I woke up. So that would have something to do with it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So that's all.
Yeah, Jared is heartbroken. Hey, you know what? It made number 5.
Hey, so clearly Jackson on Sunday morning when he tried to wake up when he made this list had some kind of idea.
and like I said, you guys have to remember that, like, just because it doesn't reach like number 1, it doesn't mean that we don't love the movie. The hard thing is about this marathon is we all made like the movies that are up there for us. They're all good. These are all good films. Like, there's none like bad. There's no bad movies. So It's all at this point just subjectivity.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I do the video series I do where it's ranking your guys' movie recommendations and I rank which one I liked least to which one I liked most. It's like for the most part, all those movies I enjoy, but obviously they're still ranking. And so it's kind of like that where for the like all these movies I'd say I enjoyed except for my number 10, which was Lord of the Rings. But okay, cool. Okay, so we are going to number 4. And I am going to go ahead and share my number 4. It is The Elephant Man.
Oh no, you didn't just see the comment. Sorry, Bernardo.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that. Hope I can make it up to you. Hear me out. We just finished talking about how all these movies are good, right?
Nope, it's too late, Nate. Nope.
No, please.
No, this is the rule to the exception.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what? No. Okay, here's the thing. Elephant Man really is a good movie. From here on out, yeah, literally here on out, the next 4 movies for me are 9 out of 10 movies. So all good movies, all on the same tier. The Elephant Man for me ranks below because 1, it's super depressing. It's a really sad movie. It's not one that I'm just gonna be like, oh man, gonna go watch Elephant Man again. Love that movie. It's like it's a very depressing movie, and I knew that going into it, but even coming out of it, yeah, it's really sad. I will say this: I was impressed that it was black and white, yet I didn't get tired at one point in the movie. I had to rewind a scene or two because it wasn't tired. It was just kind of like getting distracted by one thing or another. But all the performances are great, and it's funny because I think I said this in my video, but while it's Lynch's most accessible film that I've seen, it still definitely has his signature on it. It's still very much so. Like even the first less than 5 minutes into it, I'm like, yeah, this is a Lynch film. You can just tell. So yeah, the elephants. Yeah, exactly. Which like what? But anyways,
it's like it's kind of dirty symbolism, but it's
yeah. Okay, cool. Good talk, Jackson.
Bye, Jackson.
I was wondering. He's like, it's not dirty symbolism, but it's what? Let me quickly text Jackson. We lost connection with him, but that's okay. Nick hasn't seen Elephant Man. Is that correct?
I have not. I've seen clips of it. I did my film class. I saw clips. It does look depressing. Very much so.
Yes.
I do want to watch it. I'm kind of, oh man, after life is beautiful, I can only take so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can only take so much sadness after life is beautiful. And can I just say, and I say this in everything that I do, life is beautiful needs to be on Criterion. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's get it. Also, hey, what gives, Jackson?
I have no idea what just happened. I literally was finishing my point about how it's dirty symbolism.
We didn't want to hear about your dirty symbolism, man.
Yeah, no, you guys kicked me out. No,
I think the internet kicked you off for saying dirty.
Yeah, it did. No, I seriously, it just lost connection. But
no, you're good, dude. Jackson, how about you share your thoughts on Elephant Man while I share some comments?
I was just gonna say that I think, like, I totally agree with everything you said, Nate. It's a super depressing movie. I'd say it's a little more rewatchable than you would probably, but
it's the most rewatchable Lynch film I've seen for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I agree it's his most accessible, but I think there's like so many scenes that any filmmaker who would get the opportunity to make those scenes would do anything just as good as Lynch did. Like the scene where, oh, what's his name? John. I don't want to keep calling him the Elephant Man because, like, I know that it's it's kind of like
yeah, I think it is. I want to say
John.
I think it is John. I think it is John.
John, yeah. So like when he and Anne Bancroft, the actress, when they're doing Shakespeare together, and he just starts quoting and reciting Shakespeare, like, dude, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, just how like beautiful that is, like, come on, man.
Or the theater house where they dedicate the performance to him.
Love that scene.
Yeah,
I mean that I mean, obviously the scene that comes after that is really sad, but even the scene where like the guy, like the drunk party people come in and they like ruin his room, and
that's like that made me the most depressed. The whole
No,
Oh.
that's the saddest scene, and you would think
Yeah.
because like it's a true story, so this isn't a spoiler. Like the guy died in real life. Like it's sad and it's tragic, but it's not a
Yeah.
spoiler of the movie because the movie follows his life. But
Yeah,
like when the death of the main character isn't even the saddest part of the movie, that's how you know you've done it right.
Mm-hmm.
Like those guys coming in and just like trashing his room and just like picking him up and making him drink and like it's just so sick. Just makes you sick.
Awful. It's awful.
But Jacob, I have seen The Straight Story.
Oh,
yeah.
Great movie. Yes,
It's
Nate,
great,
you would love
but
that
it's the
movie.
weirdest Lynch movie because it does not feel like Lynch at all.
No, it's his, that is his most accessible. I was going to say that to you, Nate.
Oh, that's fair. I guess of the three I've seen, Elephant Man's the most successful.
You need to, everybody watch The Straight Story. It's on Disney Plus. It is fantastic.
It's kind of sad what happened though. The actor in that movie, never heard of him before. He got nominated for Best Actor at the Academy Awards, and he found out he had cancer, and so he committed suicide and killed himself.
That's depressing.
Oh, Richard
Very
Farnsworth.
depressing. Richard Farnsworth, yeah.
Yeah, he's also the sheriff in Misery.
No way. I liked him.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
no, and-
Yep.
Him in The Straight Story is so adorable. He's
great.
so good. The dialogue in that movie, some of the most realistic dialogue you'll ever hear.
It's very simple too. It's a very simple story, and I like it
Yes.
for that reason.
And the ending is perfect.
Yeah.
One of the best endings.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I'm going to add those to my list.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to watch it, Nate. I'm surprised you haven't watched it yet. I thought
Really?
They
Yeah.
didn't have it. Yeah, they didn't have it in the movie class. I was hoping they would, and they didn't include it.
they included it this semester. I took it.
You cool.
I just watched it on the recommendation of somebody one time.
Whoa. All right. Let's move on to Nick's number 4.
My number 4 is a recommendation that was given to me.
It's mine.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
I was hoping it was a little bit higher because I love that movie.
Yeah.
Here's
me
the
too.
thing.
It's all good. It's all good.
I cannot, in good conscience, put it higher. And here's the reason why. I gave this movie a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Okay.
I love this movie.
Wait, if
Phenomenal
you say any
film.
spoilers, let me know so I can leave it.
I'll give you my brief thoughts on it, and then we can talk a little bit about third act and the
Okay.
things I didn't like about third act. Because
Yeah, I
that
like
to
third
me
act.
is the part where the movie falls off, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
And that's why I can't put it in higher on this list, because the other three, like, come on, I watched some freaking amazing movies. Let's just, because I've missed a lot. This movie, the thing that worked for me, self-contained story that was absolutely thrilling. This was at the end of my marathon. I mean, it wasn't the last movie, Donnie Darko was, but I was engaged. I don't even think I blinked the entire time. I was just like, wow, this is like a perfect movie to watch during the marathon. And it was like such a great film. John Goodman, never been creepier ever in my life. I never thought I'd ever like
probably the best performance I've seen from him.
Yeah. And like Mary Elizabeth Winstead's good. The other guy, I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. I can't remember what his name is. The actor who plays the guy that's also there.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to say it's like Elliot. Is his name Elliot in real life?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
That guy's good. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. He was in
He's in a lot of scary movies. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
in
The electronic one where he plays the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come play.
Come play. Thank you.
Yeah, Come
I
Play.
do not remember the name of it.
He's in Short Term 12.
Oh yeah, he's good in
Yeah.
Short Term 12.
Yeah.
That great movie.
It's
That
with
is a
Brie
great
Larson,
movie.
right?
Lakeith Stanfield in that movie.
Yes. And Brie Larson.
Okay, so I want to let's talk about third act. So let's put up spoilers.
Okay,
now.
spoilers. If you haven't seen 10 Cloverfield Lane, please mute your video because this ruins the movie. I kid you not.
Movie.
Mute it.
So
Right,
spoilers. I was wrong. The only part I had seen of this was the ending shot of her driving in a car, and you see the alien spaceship in the background with like the silhouette.
Oh, okay.
That was what I saw. So I thought that was the end of the movie. Like when she got out of the house or the basement or whatever.
Yeah, you thought that's how it was going to end?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is how it's going to end. But the fact that the movie had this third act where she battles the aliens, to me, really frustrated me, and it lost me completely. I could have done without that. To me, it left out the entire dread of the film. It left out the entire suspense. At that point, it also got rid of the surrealism of the film. Like, I thought this movie, it felt so real. I was like, I could see this happening. You have this guy who's like such a prepper, and he's he's got like a crazy past. Like we don't know if he's like, there's a lot of innuendos to what this character's done in the past, right?
Yep.
But you get out of that and immediately have her fight these aliens. I was like, you lost me.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? You had a self-contained story, and then you put it out in the Cloverfield verse, and I'm like, no, I get it's 10 Cloverfield Lane, but you should have had the movie should have been she gets out, and you could have made the movie 15 minutes less. That's fine. She gets out of the basement, she gets in the car, she has a struggle at first or whatever, and then a struggle with whatever. There's like something weird going on. Like it could be like noises or like people just around her like screaming or something. She drives off, and then you see the silhouette of the aliens. That's how the movie should have ended, and that's what I thought. That's why I was like, oh, I saw like a part of the third act. But then I didn't know that she battles all these aliens, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I will say, okay, I'm going to try to play devil's advocate as much as I can because I've always been both sides. The first time I saw it, I felt the exact same way. I kid you not, I've seen the movie at least 5 times, maybe 6 or 7 times. It's one of the most rewatchable movies of all time for me.
Yeah.
And the more I see it, the more, maybe it's just because I've seen it so many times that I've accepted it. But I do like, however, that even with that added on 15 minutes of the alien scenes, there is still callback to earlier scenes from the movie. Like, for an example, she destroys the alien ship with the bottle of wine that was in the truck. And so, and in the beginning of the movie, when she leaves her house, you see her pick up that wine. And so it's kind of cool little things where when you watch it again, you're like, oh, that's what saves her at the end of the movie when she attacks the alien ship. Good thing she had that. Is it convenient? Maybe. But it's one of those movies that, like, I feel like everything is taken care of, I guess. Maybe there are a few loose ends, but for the most part, even something as minor as that, where, oh, I have a wine bottle, I'm going to light it on fire and throw it into the ship. It's like, that's genius. And like, I don't know. I see what you're saying. So Nick, if you had a preference of the ending, you would say she gets out and then just drives off and sees the aliens in the future.
Yes, because then it ties. Because I think that then number one, it shows, because we talked about this on our group chat, how John Goodman's character is a genius. He's also obviously has a lot of issues. He's crazy, but like he's also a genius, and that there was something really happening. And so it's not like what he says it was, where he's like, oh, it's this virus that's in the air, and if you breathe or whatever, you're dead essentially. It's not that at all, but like she drives away and she's like, oh, everything's clear, everything's good. And then you just see these alien spaceships and you're like, oh, she's doomed. That would have been awesome. Like, to me, that probably should have ended it. But
yeah.
Although I do love that very first scene when she gets out and she takes the mask off and realizes she can breathe, but then quickly has to put it back on. It's just like, it's nonstop a thrill ride. And I think that's what I love about it so much. But really quickly, it just shows that Damien Chazelle, so far, knock on wood, hopefully, cannot do any wrong in Hollywood.
Well, and I want to say something about that is I've read actually about, because I remember reading that he had written it along with a couple of other people. So apparently he only came in for rewrites. He didn't do any like full-on drafts of it. Yeah.
I wonder though, I almost wonder why this movie was even considered to be in the Cloverfield universe, because it's such a great movie on its own.
And that's what I wonder too, is because when I first saw it in the theater back in 2016, I was on Nick's side the whole time, where the whole movie I'm like, yes, this is intense. Let's, keep it contained. And then when she got out, I remember being like, yo, we still got like 20 minutes left. Where's this going to go? And then the alien, all the Cloverfield, incorporated stuff happens. And for me the whole time, and I still feel this way because I still don't care for that ending, which is, I feel like at first they thought this is a great contained thriller. This is what it should be. And when she gets out, it was all just a fluke. And then some kind of twist happens. Yeah. And I feel like when J.J. Abrams came in, he was like, yeah, let's make it aliens. Let's make it like this mystery of
lens flare.
Yeah, like when he played a part in it, because you can totally tell there are some things where you're like, yeah, J.J. Abrams had a huge influence on that, but it just felt so out of place, especially for the rest of the movie. Because when I watched the rest of that movie, none of the first 2/3 of that movie have any indication that the third act is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, none of that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's a great movie, and I don't think the ending ruins the movie for me.
Yeah.
I just don't like the ending.
thing-
Love the movie, hate the ending.
Yeah.
I almost wish
feel
that
similar.
maybe this would have made more audiences mad. By the way, really quick, hey Scott, thanks for joining. But I was just going to quickly say, it almost makes me mad that they have Cloverfield in the title. Like, I don't know if it'd make more fans angrier to see aliens at the end, because at least if you have it in the title, they're expecting aliens eventually. But I don't know. Really
I
quickly,
think the movie suffers from the same problem. Like, well, another sequel, Cloverfield Paradox. That movie's terrible. I'm not trying to compare.
yeah,
them.
really
movie's
quickly,
garbage.
Cloverfield
But the
10, you
end-
can't even compare the two.
The end of the movie of Cloverfield Paradox, it does the exact same thing that 10 Cloverfield Lane does, except for it does it better because it's right at the end when it's like, oh, this is how it ties.
And
Yeah.
the thing with Cloverfield Paradox is the whole movie, you know that something's going to be coming. You know, whereas 10
It's like a
Cloverfield
cheap
Lane,
version of Alien, honestly, that's how I felt.
no,
It was
it's so bad. But like that was more up front, whereas 10 Cloverfield Lane, the ambiguity of it is what makes it so intense, because you're like, it could be, but it could very well not be, and this guy could just be a psychopath.
yeah.
And he is.
Yeah.
He's, you know, even if he's,
absolutely.
you know, though he's right, he's still a psychopath.
Well, that's what I love. That's what I love. It's not ever like the whole movie. You're like, is he telling the truth or is he insane? And it's like, yes, yes, exactly. No, but I like this comment for the community fans. You'll know. But okay, maybe it should have been. Sorry, maybe it should have been 10 Lane instead of 10 Cloverfield Lane, or reveal the title in the end, or at least like, yeah. Maybe it should have had like, Clover in the street lane, and then at the end, like a title field is added onto Clover. I don't know.
Maybe
Well,
it's
and they do it reveal.
Mulholland Drive, and it's a sequel to Mulholland Drive somehow.
Well, and they even do that reveal though, because on the mailbox that she
Oh,
drives
that's
by,
true.
it says
Yeah.
Clover. So that
Mailbox
could have been
says-
the reveal. That is,
Yeah.
That's
that it
true.
ties
Yeah,
in.
that literally could have been the reveal. I would have loved that. But
Yeah.
anyways, you guys are making me want to devote a whole entire live stream to this movie.
I
Oh,
know.
really? Yeah.
We can
I
talk about this
seriously-
movie all night.
I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. Watched this last Halloween over again, and I will never get tired of it. But really quickly, guys, we're gonna move on to our next number because we're still
Jackson
at
has to be number 4.
yeah. What are we even at? Jackson, number 4. Oh, let me quickly turn this. Spoilers done. Okay, Jackson, go ahead.
So my number 4 is Nate's recommendation, and that would be Paddington. I loved this movie. I thought when it first started, the first 20 minutes, I was like, is this just going to be like a kid friendly, like just feel good movie? And I don't have a problem with that, but I was like, is that really why everybody was hyping it up? Is just because it's just that feel good? And then the movie keeps going and things keep happening. And as soon as Nicole Kidman breaks into the house by flipping in, doing acrobatics, I was just like, I don't care where this movie goes, I am having a blast. It is amazing.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Nick, you've seen Paddington, yeah?
Nope.
Oh, dude.
Oh, you got to see it, dude. It's so good.
Recommending it to you for next year's marathon.
I'll watch it before then.
Okay, cool.
I'm totally on the Paddington train now. I get the hype. Cannot wait to watch the second one.
The second one, I like the second
one.
one more. And I'm not even saying that because of the critic rating or whatever. Like, straight up, when the second one came out, I was like, yeah, like, that one's better. It's just, it's so adorable. Like, Paddington goes to jail, and, like, it's so hilarious. It's amazing.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, I knew the movie was something special when the like landlord guy or whoever he is, the creepy old dude, goes up to Nicole Kidman and she turns around and then just starts playing Hello by Lionel Richie and zooming in on the guy's face because he's in love with her. Being like, okay, I guess this is this type of movie. I'm in.
This is happening. Okay. Let's try to have our top 3 done by the top of the hour. So we got about 20 minutes. Let's go on to number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, my number 3 has got to go to the King of Comedy. Jackson's recommendation. Yeah. I don't know if I had high expectations for this movie. I don't know what I felt during this, like how I was going into the movie. I was expecting to just get a solid movie, kind of like Mother, where it's a movie I can just watch and enjoy the whole way through. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. I hope that my thoughts on it in my video did it justice, because I said it's a cringy movie and no one has necessarily like commented on, saying like, "Oh, it's a cringy movie." Because when you say cringy, you automatically think, "Oh, he didn't like it." It's cringy in the sense of like just how far Robert De Niro goes.
Uncomfortable. You want to say
uncomfortable. Yeah, like how far he goes to get this to get recognized by Jerry Lewis or Jerry Langford in the movie, I think he is.
Oh my gosh.
But honestly, De Niro's sidekick is just as funny. Like the girl in the movie, I loved her. She's insane. She's absolutely insane. And the movie was just flat out a blast. And Robert De Niro, I've never seen him in that kind of role. I guess actually I did a little bit later in Stardust because he was in a goofy role in that too. But it was really good. And honestly, top of my, not that I'm like the Scorsese huge fanboy here, but of the Scorsese movies I've seen, top of the list. I loved it. Not at the very top, but like towards the top of the list. It was good.
No, believe it or not, dude, that's high on my Scorsese list too.
It's solid,
very high, dude. And so many things about, like, this is why I hate Joker, is because that movie is the better Joker, and it's so much. It's such a better character study because Rupert Pumpkin is such a weirdo. He like talks to himself in his basement, and then his mom yells at him, and he's like, "Mom, I'm busy."
I totally forgot about that. Well, that like right there, I was like, "Oh my gosh, Joker like is such a ripoff," because that's Joker. The whole thing is Joker. It makes me kind of mad, but I don't know how. Like, I'm sorry to the Joker fans. Nick, I know that you like the movie, and I like the movie's good. Joaquin Phoenix is amazing, but it just makes me wonder even more so how it got nominated for as many Oscars as it did. How Todd Phillips was nominated for Best Director when he was making a movie that's basically been made twice. Really? Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy.
Well, so, and not only that, but like there are direct scenes that are like taken from King of Comedy. That just made me like, I was sitting in the theater watching Joker, and when he did that, when that first scene happens where what's his name in the movie? Joaquin Phoenix is in the audience. Arthur? Yeah, he's in the crowd of the TV show, and Robert De Niro calls him down.
Yep.
That whole scene, I was so tempted to just be mad at that movie and hate it, because I was like,
also the irony that Robert De Niro's in the movie. Honestly, Joker is like it's not a bad movie. Like Rise of Skywalker, that's just the first movie that comes to my mind. That's a bad movie. I don't think Joker's a bad movie.
No, absolutely.
It just frustrates me a little bit. That's all. But so people who like Joker, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I
like Joker. It's fine enough.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just kind of showing some comments here. Sorry, this is my sister. I think her comment's super funny because the thing is, Lindsay, anyone who hears about Paddington, that's exactly what they are going to think. And then they watch it and it's like, whoa, this movie's good. And really quick, got to show this. I hope Paddington 3 is also just like another masterpiece. I'm sure it will be.
Yep, I love that.
Okay, we got a few more comments on, Scott's not a fan of Joker. Scott, is it the same reason that Jackson and I were talking about, that it's just kind of too much? Go ahead, Nick.
I haven't seen King of Comedy or Taxi Driver, so if I watch those movies, I'm sure I'll be like, wow, that really kind of frustrates me. In terms of Joker, and I've said this a bunch of times, like I do really like the movie. I don't think it's the best movie ever made. Like some people, like there were people literally upset that Joker didn't win Best Picture. I'm sorry, people. It had no business even being nominated for Best Picture. And I like the movie a lot. But Parasite,
any of them except for actor.
Yeah, I agree.
Really, actors like the only. And top
maybe cinematography. Was it even nominated for cinematography? I can't remember.
It was. Yeah.
It was. Okay, maybe.
I cannot believe it won score. Cannot believe it won.
I remember. I said this. I remember when Todd Phillips was nominated for Best Director. I even said in my live stream, I said, I would not have gone with that choice. I would not. Like that. That's the one category where I was kind of like, really? And I knew it was going to get nominated for Best Picture after that. But Best Score, I mean, I did like the score, but I don't know. I like the movie. I don't want to – I kind of feel like I have to play like the defender of it, but also at the same time, I haven't seen Taxi Driver or King of Comedy. So that could change my
You got to see both of those, man. Fantastic movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually prefer King of Comedy over Taxi Driver for sure, though.
Yeah, that's tough. Taxi Driver and Goodfellas are like neck and neck.
Oh yeah, you love Goodfellas, man. Okay, let's hear your number 3.
My number 3 is a movie that surprised me. That is IMDb Top 250, Rocky.
Yeah!
Yes,
dude.
That
movie
movie at all. That
5
is
out
that
of 5.
high.
5 out of 5, in my opinion. Absolute masterpiece for sports movies. And I'm a big baseball fan. I think Rocky might be the best sports movie ever made. And I'm saying that from someone who's watched a ton of baseball movies, someone who loves baseball. I don't really understand the sport of boxing. Adrian!
Yeah,
Adrian! The movie, and what's funny is I thought this movie was going to kill me in this marathon. I was like, oh, it's going to be slower. Not at all. It was at this time when this movie, like when I watched this movie, I was full steam ahead. Like it was after GoldenEye. GoldenEye, I was still a little groggy. This movie just completely woke me up, dude. I felt pumped up. I felt pumped up when he's like training and everything, like the training montages, incredible. The fight. I could sit there and watch these two heavyweights duke it out the entire 15-round match that they had of boxing. I could watch the entire thing. That was so entertaining to me. Apollo Creed is such a fascinating character. I love Sylvester Stallone so much in this movie because I've always been the type of person I'm like, I love Sylvester Stallone. I love Sly, but I've never seen him like really give an incredible performance in anything. This was the movie where I just was like, dude, this guy's an incredible actor.
Wait until you see Creed. Wait, and him. I
can't wait. And what's funny is I even said in my marathon video, I said that I probably won't watch the sequels to Rocky. After watching this movie, I'm watching all the Rocky movies. I have to.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. Well, okay. 5 is awful. 5 is awful, but I feel like he has to watch it just to, complete it.
Yeah, I mean, it is easy to sit through. It's easy to sit through because it's short and it's like laughably bad. But it's also
so
like,
bad. Like everyone, Nick, every fan, like my cousin, that's her favorite movie of all time, Rocky 1. But even then, even like how much she loves Rocky, she even admits like, oh yeah, 5 is awful. Like everyone in the fandom,
well, that's
no matter how much you don't like the other ones, 5 is awful. What?
Every franchise is going to have a stinker. I hate Rise of Skywalker, but I still
except for Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, the new Planet of the Apes trilogy.
New Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. No, old Planet of the Apes has some stinkers.
Every movie but the original is a stinker.
Well, not Escape. Escape from Planet of the Apes is actually really fun. I like it.
But guys, when you hear that score, dun 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 dun.
Oh yes. Definitely. I definitely would be lying if I said that I don't listen to that when I work out. Like that is definitely my workout music.
Oh yeah. I knew that score before, but like seeing the entire like montage of how that score comes about, I was amped up. I was like, I was training. I felt like I was physically jumping.
I'm not gonna lie though. I'm just gonna say, Nick. For as much as you like Rocky, I am excited for you to see Creed because I have the I don't know if it's unpopular. I think it is. But I like Creed more than Rocky. They're both amazing movies, but the reason I love Creed is because I love Rocky. And if you've seen Creed, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, you have to have seen Rocky to really appreciate Creed because of what happens in Creed. But anyways, like it's amazing.
Yeah, I love. Man, that's tough. I'd still say I like Rocky more just because
they're both like same tier. Creed's probably just a movie above it. You know what I mean?
I think the thing that's so good about both of them is because like the sequels to Rocky became about the boxing, whereas Rocky and Creed, they're not about the boxing. They're about this guy overcoming something and trying to be a better person. Like in Rocky, like in the original, there's hardly any boxing.
It's so true. It's more of a romance.
But what I love about it is like the ending of that film, the fact that it's basically like they didn't care about the outcome.
No,
like Rocky
because
didn't
that's
care.
not what matters.
It was what mattered to him was Adrian, and I was like, and I shipped their relationship, man.
No, and because that's what makes it so like I'm getting chills thinking about it is because like he proved it to her. That's what he wanted. He wanted to prove to her that he was worth something. That's all he wanted. That's what. And that's why he wins. That's why the ending of Rocky's so uplifting because you're like, it doesn't matter if he won the fight. He got Adrian. That's all that mattered.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's
great movie.
Jackson, let's hear your number 3.
So Nick just gave us a Best Picture winner, and I'm about to give us another Best Picture winner. But this one is on the more depressing side. It's not uplifting.
We got Deer Hunter?
We've got the Deer Hunter, man. Dude,
nice.
I loved this movie. I thought I was so nervous, and I was telling Nate this, and I think he even told me this too, because we watched it at the same time.
Yep, and it was about let's see, 1 a.m. maybe we started it.
Probably, about 1.
Yeah. 12:45, 12:50.
Yeah. It was late, and I was very nervous starting it because I was like, it's 3 hours. I heard it slow. I'm going to fall asleep during this.
Yeah.
Wasn't bored once. Every scene has something great in it. And then, of course, from the moment we're thrown into Vietnam, when you see the guy throw the grenade in with that bunker full of people, from that moment on, it just drags you. It's like you're tied up behind a horse and you can't catch your footing, so you're just being dragged, and you cannot stop.
And you're exhausted because you're doing a 24-hour marathon.
Exactly. And so then the ending happens, and you're like, I thought this movie had ripped out my heart enough, and then it just does that. The ending just broke me. Sad I had to know it beforehand, because I would have been even more.
I need a spoiler going in.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad I did, but yeah, because if I didn't know the ending before the 24-hour movie marathon, I wouldn't have been able to focus on any other movie. I would have just been so depressed. I would have just been like, man, that movie broke me. And it kind of did. So number 3, fantastic.
Yeah, it's, oh my gosh, it is absolutely amazing. You know what, Nick, you haven't seen it, right?
I have not.
Okay, so let's throw this in first hour torture. Yeah, to me, honestly, I think Jackson and I, we got through it because, Jackson and I, we watched it at the same time, like Jackson said. And so we were actually live texting throughout the whole thing. We didn't include Nick just because we didn't want to spoil it for him. But Jackson and I were texting back and forth about the movie. Like a scene would happen and we would like laugh at it. Like through text, we'd be like, what the heck? Why did that happen? Like things like that. And so I think that really helped. At least it helped me a lot in that first hour. Yeah. Having someone to like kind of update you and you can keep each other accountable kind of thing. So the first hour wasn't bad to me. I was actually kind of prepared for the rest of the movie to be like that. And then it just threw you in and you're like, holy, like it's insane. And it's like, it's super depressing, but it's very intense too. Like one of the most intense movies I have ever seen. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like just
the first
thinking about
Russian roulette scene, the first one.
Russian roulette.
Gosh. I was shaking. I was so nervous.
And it's sad that we have to say the first Russian roulette, implying that there's more because like you don't want more. It's so
you think one would be fine. No.
Yeah, one would be enough, and then there's like several. But I will go ahead and okay, sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to number 2. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have been tossing. It's been a toss-up between my number 1 and my number 2 ever since I ranked these.
Hey, Nate's cat makes an appearance, and now I think it's gone. Your cat was behind you opening the door.
Oh my gosh, pretty mini.
I just saw your door open, and I was like, "Wait, what is that?" And then I see this furry ball behind you.
Horrifying. Gosh, I didn't even notice that. I just get murdered on screen. Gosh, freaking mini. I didn't even notice that. That's so funny. So number 2 is a very hard toss-up because I could say this is a tie. Whereas last year I knew what my number 1 of the marathon was. This year I could probably say it's a tie. But because of how depressing it is, I'm gonna put my number 2, The Deer Hunter. Yeah. I'm gonna put it at number 2, mostly because Jackson and I, we said it perfectly. Well, I mean, I was the one who said it, so I'm all patting myself on the back. But I was texting Jackson and I was saying, Schindler's List, that movie is one of the most depressing movies of all time, and yet universally, it's probably objectively agreed upon that it's probably Spielberg's best. Like, come on, it won Best Picture
between that and Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm pretty sure it won Best Director for him as well, Schindler's List.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And so, like, objectively, I think we could agree that it's at least considered his best movie of all time. Now there's a dog with me. Tommy, come here. And so, hi. Schindler's List is one of the best movies. But what I'm getting at is just because it's his best movie doesn't mean it is my favorite movie from him. And that's how I feel with Deer Hunter. It was probably the best movie I watched the whole marathon. The hand. But it's not, I don't know if I can say it's my favorite just because of how depressing it is and just how big it is. And so, we're what the freak. Okay.
Coming for you, man.
No, it's not me. I want to quickly, I want to quickly show this comment only because someone commented that earlier. Has anyone seen Johnny Got His Gun?
No.
I haven't either, but I appreciate the comment because I love getting movie recommendations. And then
Yes.
really quickly, cute dog. Mother of that pup is very lucky. Oh wait, that's me. Yeah, that's Lindsay's dog. Anyways, insert stray dog. That wasn't an effect. That is a real dog, I promise. Anyways, that is my number 2. Nick, please favor us with your number 2.
You guys ready?
I'm
I
ready.
don't know.
The Godfather. I know that makes you excited. For
That means that it's for movies
My
number 1.
number
Hey,
one.
where's that guy commenting
We'll talk
about
what my
that
number one
movie?
is. We'll talk about
Where is
number
he?
one
We
is when
need to
get
bring
there.
him back. Hey,
Yeah,
where are you,
he's
man?
losing his
He's about to
mind.
announce it.
All right. The Godfather is everything I ever thought it was going to be. Absolutely just enthralling movie. I'm happy I started this one. I started the marathon with this film because even though it's funny because it's like it's a 3-hour movie, but I didn't even feel the runtime. Like it goes by so quick. I haven't seen the second one or the third one, but I do plan on watching those. Something
Jackson
that's interesting, though, and honestly, like this movie's ancient. It's like 40 years old. Okay, so almost 50 years old. So I don't think I'm spoiling anything. I didn't know Marlon Brando's Vito Corleone dies.
Neither did I going into it.
I thought
I didn't. I watched it when I was 14. So I didn't know
gosh,
anything
Jackson.
about it.
I also expected it to have much more of Marlon Brando.
Yeah,
It had way less of him than I expected.
Hey, but every scene he's in, does he not
he's
crush
so
it?
good. Like even when he gets shot, like the acting in that movie alone is amazing. The fact that like it's a star-studded cast. Al Pacino.
He's going along.
When I first watched the movie, I forgot he was in it, and I thought it was. I literally didn't even see Al Pacino for a second until like an hour in. I was like, "Oh wait, that's Al Pacino."
Yeah. He looks different.
Diane Keaton's good in this movie.
He's so good.
The iconic scene to me is like, I mean, it's 2 scenes. Obviously the classic scene of that I literally I'd seen this before, but it surprised me because it's been so long since I've seen this. But when Michael's wife dies in Sicily, the car blows up. I was like, oh what? Like,
Yeah.
I forgot that happened. I need to watch it again.
Dude, that scene is so intense because you're like, it's so like held. The shots are held for so long, and you're like, why? What? Like, why do I care that she's getting into the car? And then you hear the guy saying like, sometimes they don't just come for you in the open.
Yep.
And then he's like, wait a minute.
He's like, no, wait.
Oh, when he starts screaming,
yes.
no, that's when you're like, your heart just sinks. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, that was crazy. Also, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the actor's name. Why am I blanking on his name? Who?
James Caan.
James Caan or whatever.
James Caan. His death did not see that coming either.
Here we are. Yeah, look at this.
I felt terrible. Yeah, as Sonny's death in that movie, another gut punch. Even though like Sonny's character, he wasn't right. And I knew Al Pacino, like I figured, I was like, he doesn't seem like the type of person who should take over the family business per se, or be like the new Godfather, be the respected one. Just because he was very irrational and he was too reactionary. And that's why I think like Michael, it's so funny. Like I can't wait to talk more about this movie someday. Cause like the whole point of like Michael taking over and everything, even though that this is not the life that his father wanted for him. Cause he was like the bright one. He had the bright future ahead of him. Like it makes more sense because he does things in a very methodical, planned out way. Like that ending. Oh my gosh. I can't wait for the second movie. I got to watch it like soon. Like
a lot of people consider the second to be even better. I personally like the first one more, but I need to rewatch both.
Yeah, no, I like the first one more. Second one is I mean, it's near perfect.
Robert De Niro's in the second one. Fun fact.
See it. Yeah. Every scene with Robert De Niro is better than the first movie, but the entirety of the second movie is not. But 2 scenes with Al Pacino in the first movie that are they're the reason I like the first one more, and it's because they're not even just 2 of the best scenes in The Godfather, 2 of the best scenes ever. Yeah. When he shoots the cop and the other mafia boss in the diner.
So good.
Oh, when he has to go into the bathroom, they're planning it all. Yes. What's crazy,
good. What I love about that scene is it does something that like you don't expect. He comes out of the bathroom and he's so nervous, he doesn't do it initially. And then he just like, you see him pull out the gun, just shoot him. I'm like, whoa. Like, it surprised me, you know?
Oh, it's so. And then the other one was the one that you just put up, which is the baptism massacre. Because as soon as he says, Michael Corleone, do you renounce Satan? As soon as that line hits, that's like, there's like 20 minutes of the movie left. There's not like one bad image or shot or like moment in that last 20 minutes.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. And now you can see why it's the #1 movie of all time.
Yeah. Jackson and I once made an objective best movie of all time list, and we had Godfather as #1. And the funny thing is, Jacob right here put his #2 is Godfather, and the first one is Star Wars. And Jackson and I also had the first Star Wars on that list of the objectively best movies of all time. So
yeah,
that's so funny. Okay, I'm gonna say no more spoilers. Sorry if we caught any of you with the spoilers.
Yeah, sorry about that, Bernardo. I just
sorry.
I figure because the movie's so old.
Nick, I think you gave a slight spoiler warning. I think you had said something like it's almost 50 years old, so and then like
you gave fair warning, and he even said he was going to mute himself. But
okay,
my #2, man.
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
Nick gave me such a good recommendation here. It's Bong Joon-ho's Mother.
I was hoping it was gonna be #1.
Oh, dude, if I had not watched the movie that I have at my #1, this would be my #1. But oh my gosh, dude, so I could not believe. Like I thought Parasite was like his most interwoven, convoluted, crazy plot, and then this movie happened. I was like, wait a minute. Why am I hearing about this movie after Parasite? Why have I not been hearing more talk about Mother? Every twist got me so good, even though I had an inkling that the ending was what it was. Still shocked me when it happened. Still shocked me.
I remember watching it when I watched it for the first time, and I felt the same way that you did. Even though I felt that way, I like my jaw dropped when that happened. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, when the reveal comes, when that scene happened, I was like, no, he tricked you. He tricks you so good in the best way. I was like, yeah, I can't believe he, like, Parasite, I still hold highly. It's a masterpiece. That's his best film. But man, this might be my favorite Bong Joon-ho. It's so good.
Nice.
That's what I was saying. Like, and do you understand when I gave this recommendation to you and we talked about it last live stream before the marathon that I said specifically, like, Parasite is my favorite movie of his. Like, it's his best movie. It's his masterpiece. But if Parasite was not as commercially successful as it is, Mother would probably stand toe to toe with Parasite.
Yep.
Because it's that good. Nate,
it's on the level of Parasite, everybody. That is how good it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you need to say much more than that. That like should sell everyone if that's the case.
Nate, you need to watch it soon. So we can
Nate.
It's getting a is that getting a Criterion release?
No,
it's Memories of Murder.
Memories of Murder. Okay, gotcha.
Which I need to get, but
yeah, I'm gonna buy that because I need to watch that.
The cover's amazing.
It is.
But Nate, watch Mother. Do it. Oh,
noted. I will add it to the list. All right, it is time to quote Jeremy Johns, #1.
I thought you were going to say, now it's a party.
Awesome.
Ew. Not gonna lie, really like Jeremy Johns.
I do too.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. If you guys watched our videos, you probably know what our #1s are by this point because it's the only movies we haven't mentioned. I do want to throw in one more reminder that my #1 and 2 could change any day. Today, my #1 is Judgment at Nuremberg, but tomorrow, #1 could be The Deer Hunter. Anyways, both of the movies were amazing. Judgment at Nuremberg, it was a hard start, but by the time I got into it, it was amazing. And I think, first off, I'm a sucker for courtroom movies. I'm also a sucker for black and white movies. and movies with obviously good performances. And it has all those things in this movie. It was nominated for Best Picture, but it lost to West Side Story, which Jackson, you're probably sad about. Yeah, Jackson, not a fan of West Side Story. I got to watch it again. But Judgment at Nuremberg, basically what it's about is, I'm actually not going to go through the plot. If you watch my video, you should know. But I think what I liked about it most is that mostly when you're watching a courtroom movie, you're only on one side. You watch the other side give their points, and you're like, oh, wow, that's a really good point. Let's see what they say to try to keep up with them. But with Judgment at Nuremberg, myself personally at least, I was on both sides. Like, they would give an argument, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. And then they give another argument, and I'm like, I think I'm on this side now. And it's interesting to see that, I don't know. I'm interested to see if anyone else watches it. I kind of want to hear what their thoughts are, because there's obviously a verdict and there's one side that wins the case, of course. But I'm just interested to see what other people say. Really quickly,
I need to see it, man.
Yeah, it's really good. I heard about it through, I don't even remember. I think maybe it was Jacob's 24-hour movie marathon last year, or maybe it was just hearing the plot somewhere. But right when I heard about it, that, Nick, I don't think you know this, but when I heard about that, that was actually one of my motivators to be like, oh, I should put that, if we do another 24-hour movie marathon, I'm going to put that in there. And that kind of like got me motivated. Oh, hey, yeah, we should totally do a second marathon for 2021. And I'm for sure going to include that because it's like 3 hours. So it's just like a good time to prepare for it. But anyways, I know you both haven't seen it, so I won't talk too much more about it, but it was incredible. It was absolutely insane. And also I will say, for a black and white movie, there's about 2 or 3 minutes of real Holocaust film footage that is awful. Like, it doesn't hold back. It's very hard to watch. But very good movie, very good courtroom movie. So highly recommend everyone watch it. And number one of the marathon. So Nick, let's hear your number one.
My number one.
We know
Jackson's recommendation, and probably one of my favorite movies of all time, Punch Drunk Love. This movie, when I say that I didn't know what to expect, that is an understatement. This movie completely sold me in every single way. Like, I can't even believe, because the thing is you hear the title, and the title is so wacky. It's very different, but it makes sense. There's like symbolism to the title, and I really like that.
Yep.
Adam Sandler's character, I had said like Uncut Gems is going to be the best thing he's ever done. No, completely wrong. I'm actually upset that he got snubbed for this performance.
Yep.
Because he's better in this. I've never seen him better. And he still plays an Adam Sandler that resembles Adam Sandler, but like, this is an Adam Sandler that I really like. Like, I'm just like very fascinated in this character. Emily Watson, I haven't seen her in a lot. Phenomenal. My man, Philip Seymour Hoffman, though. Oh my gosh, dude, he's barely in the movie, but he is a scene stealer. Every scene he's in, I was like, dude, freaking love this guy. There was a moment, it's funny because I remember when he passed away, there was like an in memoriam thing of like clips that he was in, and this was one of them. And I forgot about this, but I had seen this clip, and it was like really like there's a lot of cussing and stuff. But when he's on the phone talking with Adam Sandler's character, shut up. Oh my gosh, I was like, dude, this at that moment in time, like, I already loved the movie, but I was like, this movie is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even kidding. I can't stop thinking about this movie. I want to watch it again immediately. It's such a good, heartwarming film. Like, the fact that this guy is literally buying up all of the pudding cups because he's trying to figured out, he rigged the system. I don't want to get too much into it, but like, he rigs the system for this marketable thing. And it's like, honestly, like, it's so compelling. I was like, dude, that is literally, this guy's a genius. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's so underappreciated because like even his whole family treats him like garbage. Like, his sisters all kind of suck as character.
Well, the sisters represent the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a movie that's very metaphorical, and I understood everything. And Oh my gosh. Like, I know that this is Jackson's favorite movie. I know Chris from Filmstock talks about this movie a lot. And so I was very curious. And that's why I bought it on Criterion as well. Cause I was like, I heard so many great things. One of the best Criterion purchases ever.
I love that feeling. Sorry. I love that feeling.
No, seriously.
Yes. I love blind buying a movie and knowing you've done well. You're like, who am I? Who am I? I'm a man.
I must know everything. I'm a cinephile here.
It's so, and it's kind of crazy because, like, and Jackson, I'll let you kind of give your thoughts in a second, but it's kind of crazy to me because, like, the movie starts off in such a weird way. You know what I mean? It's like it really shows you how quirky the film is, like, right at the beginning, and I loved it. I was like, this is the movie for me. Like, this movie is for me. Like, the piano. Oh my gosh. Yes. I can just, dude, Nate, you got to watch it because I want to talk to you about this film because I really think, Nate, honestly, I think you would really, really enjoy it.
No, you really would, Nate. It's one of those. And the reason why it's like my favorite movie of all time is because when I first saw it, that was back in high school, and I did not care for it because I was like, that was not like anything I've ever seen. So dumb, didn't make any sense. And then, like, a few years later, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, that movie has just been on my mind. And so I watched it again, and literally every scene, I was like, this is the best movie ever. This is the best movie ever. This is just the best movie ever. And the scene where he's buying the pudding cups and he just starts dancing in the store. If you don't get so happy and just giddy at that, because he's like, his character, Nate, just to explain a little bit, he's like kind of like this self-loathing guy, and he's kind of an introvert.
He's a hermit. He's kind of like a hermit.
Yeah, and he's a very awkward guy. Like, the plot of the movie kicks off because he calls a hotline worker, not for the intention of the hotline, but to have company.
Yeah, it's like a sex hotline, basically. Nice. And so the entire time she's sitting there, like, hitting on him and, like, saying all these, like, sexy things, and he's just like, how was your day? I called you just to talk. I just want to talk.
Yeah, she's like, do you have any clothes on? He's like, yeah, just like what I have at work. But yeah, that's my favorite movie ever.
Oh, dude, and I kid you not, Philip Seymour Hoffman is probably like in 10, like not even 10 minutes of the movie, he steals the show.
Yeah,
he's an amazing actor.
Yeah, he and Adam Sandler have a great confrontation scene, which the thing with Adam Sandler, how he gets there and what happens when he gets there, what he's holding when he gets there, is so amazing.
I have so many questions.
Yeah, see, you just got to watch
really
the movie.
quickly.
You'll get the answers.
I'm going to respond to this comment with the own comment that he already said to himself.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut up! Shut up!
Probably because you said something that you like Uncut Gems.
Yeah, do I like Uncut Gems? Is that a question?
No, he loves it.
Do I have a T-shirt of Adam Sandler's character in that movie? I do.
No, but like I agree with you though, 100%, dude. His best performance is Punch Drunk Love. It's such a likable character too. Whereas like,
and he's relatable.
Yeah, and it's relatable. Exactly. Like, dude, it's so good, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is honestly one of the best movies I've ever seen. One of my favorite movies.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you liked
that's such a fun discovery too. It's fun. Yeah, it's fun to have that experience. Because for me, I won't lie. Like, I loved the top 4, but none of them were for me like one of my favorite movies. I'd say Deer Hunter is one of the best movies I've ever seen, but like none of them were like, oh, this is like top 30 already, top 25, whatever. But maybe on rewatches they will be.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Nate, because though my number 2 and my number 1 on this marathon, I would say those would later on, as I keep rewatching them and I keep getting familiar, they are going to be favorites of all time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like the rest of them, I'm just like, that's clearly a great movie. I'm glad I've seen it. Probably don't need to see it again though.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, if I learned anything from this film class I took at BYU, Idaho, which was kind of a joke if I'm not lying, but if I'm being honest, the one cool thing that we did learn is that in order to analyze movies, you can't just watch a movie once and analyze it. You have to watch it at least 2 times. And then even at that, it's like 2 times really. And so a lot of these movies, I kind of like have this new thought process where it's like, can I even say a movie's my favorite unless I haven't seen it 2 times? I don't know. I'm mixed on it. I go back and forth on that thought process. But
I completely agree. I'm the same way. But I already know when I watch this movie a second time, it's going to be my favorite films.
Oh yeah, no. That's how I was with the Father with Anthony Hopkins. I've only seen it once, but I added it to my list because I'm like, yeah, no, I love this movie and I know I'll be watching it again. So obviously there's those movies that with one watch. But anyways,
Jackson, can we point
I'm,
out Jacob Martin's comment? It blows me away that Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah.
I completely agree with this.
Nice. Yeah. That's very cool. That's very cool.
Like you don't see the goofy Adam Sandler in this movie. That's not at all.
True. No, he's not like
yeah, there are moments where he's funny in this movie, but it's because of how awkward the character is, and it actually is like relatable to what is actually going on.
Yeah. Last thing, and then I'll say my number one. This is a scene. He's at dinner with the girl he's in love with, and he just goes, "Would you excuse me for a moment? I have to go to the bathroom." He goes into the bathroom and just completely destroys it. Starts like breaking the sink. He starts punching the paper towel dispenser, and then he comes back out. He's sitting at the table. Waiter comes up. Sir, did you just do this in the bathroom? No,
that's not me. It wasn't me.
But yeah, that's my number one film of all time, and my number one film of the marathon.
Let's hear it.
It would be Edward Yang's Yi Yi.
Okay. I don't have to act shocked. I already knew that was what you were going to say.
No. I could not believe. So I'm going to be a little honest here.
Okay, let's hear it.
I did not watch this for the marathon.
Wait, Jackson, you didn't watch it in the marathon? Why ever so?
So this was one of the films that I put on. I got about 30 minutes in, fell asleep, woke up about however many hours later, and was like, oh, that's not going to work. So can't watch this movie. And so I set it aside for today. So I watched it this morning to get it into the ranking here.
Nice.
And yeah, it just blew me away. Every minute is amazing. It reminded me a lot of The Farewell, not necessarily in some of what happens, but mostly in like the themes, because it's basically just you follow this family from there's a wedding at the beginning, and that takes up a good chunk of the movie, and then you just follow this family for the next few days. And it's so fascinating because each of the characters has something going on. Like the daughter, she's finding her first love. The son, he's super young, cutest kid ever in Yi Yi. He's like getting picked on by all these girls, and he has to like deal with it, but he's also like coming to terms that like, oh, these girls like me. Oh, that's something. So he starts liking girls and he starts getting into it. The dad, he runs into an old love from like 30 years ago, and then he goes on a business trip and reunites with her. The mom goes on this like spiritual sabbatical with a bunch of like monks. You would think it's like this weird movie that would have all these different. It's so good. Highly recommend you to watch it.
I mean, it's on the Criterion Collection, so I mean, you can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah, and for being a 3-hour,
both your tops. Both your top picks are Criterion releases.
Well, not Mother.
No, sorry. I meant your number one and Nick's number one, both Criterion.
Oh, yeah,
It's because we're real Criterion fans.
Yeah, we know what's up.
Hey, to be fair, I did it before it was cool. 2020 in the heat of the night. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah,
fair enough. I have the Criterion.
After you forced me to do. I'm just kidding. You didn't force me to do anything.
For being a 3-hour movie, it feels entirely like a regular 2-hour film.
I love that.
Yeah, I think you'd both really, really love it. It's just a day in the life, and it's not boring. It is so good.
I'll have to check it out.
Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you, everyone, for watching tonight. Our ranking, 2 hours. 2 hours of us just talking about our 24-hour movie marathon. How can we fit this into our 20-minute, 30-minute videos? This was great to just talk in depth about our rankings. Apparently, this guy just discovered that I still make YouTube videos. So welcome back. It's probably been a little bit since you've seen me. Hi, welcome back.
This is his first video back.
Yeah, this is his. I guess so. I've been making videos on this channel since 2017. So that just proves how great the YouTube algorithm is. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We sure do appreciate it. And Nick you can find him, Nick Talks Flicks. He has his channel name right there. And then Jackson's channel will be up and running soon, next week, I believe.
Within the next week, yes.
When he posts, really quickly, 5 years to be exact. So glad to have you here, man. So when he uploads his first video or makes his channel, whatever it may be, I'll put a post, and so look out for that so you can have Jackson's information. Anyways, hey Jackson, look who's here.
Dude, what's up, Josh? What is up, dude?
Josh is a friend of Jackson and mine. We watched Monkey Kingdom together in the theaters once.
And we got to see that amazing
What's up,
monkey
Josh?
with face.
Hey, I can be a friend, Josh.
No,
I
totally.
mean, look, I met Jackson through Nate, and so it's like, Josh, I mean, what's going on?
I love this comment.
Oh man, whoever Brock Upside is, you got a subscriber.
What's
Yeah,
up,
I
dude?
love
Yeah,
that.
I know. What up, man?
Yeah, we're getting a bunch of people joining in the chat now. But thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jacob. He deserves all those subscribers.
Yes.
Hey, first wait for our movie marathon video. I'm sorry you remember that. I don't know if you're talking about the one that I did alone or the one with Jackson. If you did the one with Jackson, that was a good one.
Is it the one where
At
you
least the
corn
original
dog?
cut.
Oh yeah, no corn dogs. Yuck. Corn dogs are awful.
Same here.
I'm gonna quickly add this to my watch list.
Hey.
Okay.
Oh, I've heard.
I've heard of that.
I keep
I'll have to-
getting
I'll have to
clips
write
of
it
it
on
on my
my-
Instagram feed.
Let me write it
Yeah,
down.
I've definitely heard of it. Oh, I think I know what this movie is.
Put it down.
Yeah, I'll add it. Okay, but anyways, I keep getting distracted. Yes, that's the one with Jackson and Atlin. That was the good one. Except for when I talked about the projector for 20 minutes. But,
Well, and the dark-haired guy kind of talks too much. Jonah comment.
anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We sure do appreciate it. If you didn't, does Jackson have a letterbox? I'm so sorry, I keep getting distracted. Jackson, quickly drop your letterbox. Post a comment and I will share it.
Oh, it is okay. Let me drop it real quick.
I think it's like Jax Attacks 99 or something.
Yeah,
it is.
something like that.
Let me.
But Jackson definitely has a letterbox and he posts too.
A lot. He posts more often than probably Nate and I do.
For some reason, Letterboxd never gives me Jackson reviews. Every time I have to look him up. I'm like, I follow him, please.
It's funny. It gives me your guys' reviews, but what's funny is that it didn't give me any of your reviews, Nate, for the 24-hour marathon. It was so weird. I don't know why.
See,
Well, it's
I
probably because
sometimes
I
have to
posted,
like
all
go to
10
your
of them.
two's page and like scroll through your reviews to see if you've watched anything recently. Because yeah, I have the same issue. I get like random people that I followed that I don't even know. I get their letterbox reviews, and I'm like, I don't care what you think.
Yeah. They automatically tend to post like the Carson Runquest, who has like thousands of
He
followers.
always posts, and he has the stupidest reviews.
Yeah, he's like, I love the guy, but he's super pretentious. But like, that's what he's going for. That's the great thing about him. He knows exactly what he is. But really quickly, so here's Jackson's Letterboxd account. So everyone go follow him. Nick, what is yours again? Nick's Talks Flicks?
Hold on.
Or no,
His
I think yours is like
name.
Nick Acosta.
I think it's Nicholas Acosta.
Nicholas
I'll drop it
Acosta.
in the chat. I'll drop it in the chat.
Yeah, drop it in the chat. While you're dropping that, let me clarify. I do love corn dogs. But there was a marathon video I made once where all I ate was corn dogs, and it like watching it back, it's just super cringy. And I'm like, why don't you eat healthier, my friend? Past Nathan, what were you thinking? That's really it. So, anyways, okay, Letterboxd. Yeah, you're fine on the typo. This is his account. So yeah, make sure to follow Nicholas as well. My Letterboxd should be in the description of my video, so just follow me there. If you just type in Nathan Hale Movies, you'll find it. But guys, we're going to call it a night. We've been on for almost 2.5 hours, and it has been nothing but fun. Thank you for all the people who joined. We sure do appreciate it, and hope you all have a great night.
Bye.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.